Evan, and Coach Flores said you have to adjust just like everybody else, and yes, he is going to be more involved, and he does have experience as a former linebacker coach with the New England Patriots. Miami won the toss. They've deferred to the second half. Jason Sanders will kick it off, and we are underway from Las Vegas, week 3. Over the head of Barber, and the Raiders offense to open things up with Derek Carr. This 2-game stretch he's had to open the season, Charles. 817 yards. That's the most in the NFL, and it's also the most in Raiders history to open up a year. Setting all kinds of records, but the record he likes most, 2-0. And to me, this is a maturity game for this Raiders team. Played so well early. There's a big game at home against a team with a backup quarterback. Can they get to 3-0 and keep the momentum going? They have not started a season 3-0 since 2002. They went to the Super Bowl that year. Handoff. Kenyon Drake. No Josh Jacobs once again. He's dealing with a toe issue and ankle injury. They're hoping to have him next week when they take on the Chargers. There were question marks as to whether or not Alex Leatherwood would go this week, but he is in there. He was dealing with a back issue, suffered it last week in that 26-17 win in Pittsburgh. Everybody has contributed at the skill position for Las Vegas. We know that Waller is one of the best targets in the NFL and put up big numbers in week 1. Second down and 7. Operating out of the gun. Carr lets it fly. Not on the same page. Henry Ruggs. And Ruggs had a step. 3rd and 7 for Las Vegas. Defensively for Miami, yes, they got shut out last week, 35-0 to Buffalo. Defense really was not the issue, though. They believe they can get more pressure with this front. Linebacking core, Van Ginkel certainly capable of getting to the quarterback, and in the secondary, we know Xavier Howard can get his hands on the football. Might be the best pure corner in the NFL right now.
We're good.
They're down in 7, opening drive. Carr is sacked, steps up and gets crushed on the play by Christian Wilkins.
And that's something the Dolphins have needed much more out of their former first-round draft pick, number 94, Christian Wilkins. The ability to make bigger plays, rush the passer, get him on the ground. The coverage was good downfield, but the pass rush was so good right out of the gate, the coverage didn't have to last long. Nice job there, Wilkins, on a twist, coming from outside in, and puts Derek Carr on the ground.
And CD, Las Vegas has now failed to score on its opening drive in 9 straight games. Cole, the punter. Grant, a little banged up return man for Miami. He's got some room, 25. Gets swallowed up as he crosses the 30-yard line. 54-yard punt, a 6-yard return. It has been a roller coaster ride of a career so far for one Jacoby Brissett. You talk about packing a lot in to your 6 years in the NFL. He's gotten chances, and he's getting another opportunity now in a Miami Dolphin uniform.
A guy who has been able to hold in there despite the roller coaster you described. You're a starter, you're not a starter, you're traded, you're this, but somehow has kept confidence in himself. Phil Simms talked to Teddy Bridgewater in our NFL Today show. He said the same thing about Bill Parcells helping him through. Bill Parcells has helped Jacoby Brissett do the same thing.
He got to know him when he was a high school student and football player. Handoff going up the middle, and it's Malcolm Brown, surprise starter, ahead of Myles Gaskin, and he picks up 6 yards. They're looking for more balance on offense. Running game has been completely out of the picture the first 2 weeks of the season. Changes on the offensive line as well. They're trying to identify the best 5 guys and put them in the right position. Liam Eichenberg gets his first start at right tackle. He did start opening week at left tackle for Austin Jackson. Jesse Davis moves to left guard. Brissett glances off the hands of Malcolm Brown, the former Los Angeles Ram. And there is Tua Tagovailoa. Initially, weren't sure if he was going to go on IR. They made the announcement yesterday, so he's going to miss at least 3 games.
And we always talk about toughness and guys playing through different injuries. Fractured ribs brings a whole different level, because if you take another hit, because of the sharpness, they can puncture a lung and do other internal damage. A smart move by Miami, giving him plenty of time to heal.
Tua played just 2 series last week. Brissett hums it in there. He's got a first down. Devontae Parker exchanging some words with Damon Arnett. That's an 8-yard hookup and a new set of downs for Miami.
And with Devontae Parker, what you're used to seeing is him be a high flyer, play above the rim. He dropped a big one last week against Buffalo in the end zone that was up in the air. How about here just using that big body, that big frame in front of Arnett, blocks him away from the football and makes a nice catch.
Parker has now been targeted 17 times. And off to Gaskin, who turns it upfield and crosses into Raiders territory. Falling forward, Denzel Perriman will get credit for the tackle. He picks up 5. That injury that we talked about with Tua, only 2 series last week against Buffalo, and that was the hit. And the offensive line certainly did not do its job last week.
And that was Jesse Davis, who was playing right tackle. Later had a knee injury in that game. He has actually shifted to guard for this game, as you noted, Ian. Liam Eichenberg, the rookie out of Notre Dame, playing right tackle now, trying to get that best 5, as you noted, solidified.
Fake it. Brissett tosses it at the feet of Durham Smythe. The pressure from Max Crosby.
So they let us know that it's not grounding. Number 81, Durham Smythe, was in the area. The strength of Jacoby Brissett kept this from being a sack and a bigger play for the Raiders. Max Crosby out of the gate strong right at the beginning of this game. And then the strength of Brissett, able to escape enough to throw the ball away and save the yardage from the sack.
19 quarterback pressures in the first 2 weeks for Crosby, most in the NFL. This is now a 3rd and 5 for Miami. Opening drive for the Dolphins. Raiders win 3 and out. Brissett avoids it, steps up, trying to run, will come up short. Brissett attempted to extend the body, but Phylon helped make sure that he couldn't get there. And now what do? You're in that no-man's land area for Miami.
I think they're going to punt it away rather than give momentum to Las Vegas early. There was a gap there for Jacoby Brissett to try and get there. But how about the close by Phylon, as you talked about, Ian, coming back from the pass rush to run him down and stop him short of the first down. If you're the Raiders, you play for the fake, but I do believe that Miami will punt this one away.
South Florida native Michael Pilardi will kick it. Deep man Hunter Renfrow, Fields at the 9. Avoids one tackler, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line. 38-yard punt, 6-yard return. No score. The Dolphins and the Raiders. 10:48 to go in this opening quarter. 1st and 10 from the 15. Running play for Drake, the former Dolphin. Goes down, originally drafted by Miami. 3rd round in 2016. Spent 3 years with them. All right, so we mentioned Carr's numbers among quarterbacks this year. This is the last 20 years what Carr has done in the first 2 weeks behind just Brady, Newton, Mahomes, and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Pretty impressive group there, because I'm projecting the first 3 will eventually all be Hall of Famers. That's a big-time group.
Carr on time to Hunter Renfrow. It's 2nd and Renfrow for Las Vegas, and it turns into a first down.
And while we go through this highlight, Ian, I like how you reference 2nd and Renfrow. Go ahead and give everyone the genesis of that, because he finds his way open all the time, doesn't matter what down it is.
Yeah, he's been called 3rd in Renfrow, and he first started hearing that at Clemson. Obviously, it's taken on a life of its own in the NFL. He laughed it off and said, hey, I'd rather be known 1st and Renfrow or 2nd and Renfrow.
Yeah.
Any down Renfrow.
Yeah, well, Evan Washburn, our partner, said every down Renfrow.
It works.
He said, I like that.
First down across the 40. Carr, soft toss underneath, and a short connection to Darren Waller. What has made this offense so effective the first 2 weeks? They were good last year. It's another level this season.
Well, the personnel keeps getting better, all right? Henry Ruggs, 2nd year, a guy outside who does it. Renfrow, Waller keeps getting better. But even more than that, the extreme confidence Derek Carr has in his head coach and play caller, John Gruden. No matter what John Gruden sends out there, no matter who's on the field next to him, he believes that John Gruden has made the right move. And with that confidence, nothing worries him, nothing bothers him. He just goes and plays.
Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator, the go-between with Carr and Gruden. 2nd down and 3. It's a running play for Peyton Barber. He will come up maybe short of the first down. It's going to be very close. Now on this glance, it looks like he should have enough. A Landon Roberts there to bring him down.
And without Josh Jacobs, many think, okay, the Raiders just won't run the football. Well, John Gruden said it well. Against Baltimore and Pittsburgh and their fronts, it's hard to run the football. So they had to go about it a different way. If Miami shows opportunities to run it today, I think that the Las Vegas Raiders will take more of a chance in doing that, and there will be more running plays. We'll see how they play it throughout the game.
Working from the gun. Carr fires. Everything is under control, and he hits Bryan Edwards, who's still going. Edwards weaving through traffic. 23-yard catch and run, eventually brought down by the rookie from Miami, Jalen Phillips.
That was an example of Bryan Edwards understanding exactly who he is. He's 6'3", 212. You're a big receiver, be a big receiver. Run right through those attempted tackles and then take it upfield vertically for big yardage. Short throw, long run.
When we asked Carr about Gruden, he said, he's a genius. His adjustments are incredible. I wake up every Sunday morning and feel prepared for anything and everything. Trying to get to the outside. Drake makes the move. And then gang tackled just short of the 20-yard line. Raiders are mixing and matching right now, trying to keep Miami honest with the run. That's 6 yards for Kenyon Drake.
And this could have been so much more, but watch this play right there. All right, that was Landon Roberts, 52. He ends up slowing his feet down. And if he's not able to do that, I think that breaks big because they had it well blocked to the perimeter to the outside, but Landon Roberts prevented it from being a huge game.
Last meeting between these two teams was a wild affair the day after Christmas last season. 26-25 Miami, including a Ryan Fitzpatrick highlight toss to the sideline. Carr gets rid of it. Intercepted! Landon Roberts is going to go all the way! Touchdown, Miami! The streak continues for the Dolphins. At least one takeaway in 25 straight games, and a big one in the first quarter on the road in Vegas.
Okay, if he frees it, oh, look at that. See, Foster Moreau, the tight end, as he was coming across, number 87 in black. Derek Carr expected him to continue across the field. And when he stopped and set up, the ball was already gone from Derek Carr's hand. And Landon Roberts benefits, and the Miami Dolphins up 6 early.
So a rare mistake from Derek Carr. As you pointed out, Charles, he and Moreau not quite connected.
baby.
Pass route. 82-yard return for the former Patriot, Landon Roberts, one of the Brian Flores crew that comes up big.
Made to chill. The Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway. And by Honda.
That topsy-turvy matchup from last season that officially knocked the Raiders out of playoff contention. Derek Carr, the 11th pick six of his career. Roberts made the trek down the field, and probably need a little oxygen right at the end. Our CD Chalk Talk.
Yeah, he didn't lock up before he got the end zone. Roberts is right in the middle, and what's happened is Foster Moreau, number 87, the tight end, as he's going across, he stops his route. He's trying to set up, thinking zone coverage there. Derek Carr expects him to keep running versus what he thinks probably is man-to-man across the middle. And Roberts just stays in his zone, breaks out where the ball goes, and takes it the other way.
Longest active streak in the NFL. Miami, 25 straight games with at least one takeaway. Off the shotgun snap, the give is to Drake, and he powers into a crowd for 2.5 on the play. Yeah, the hope was that Josh Jacobs would be able to go for John Gruden, just not in the cards, as he still dealing with an issue that he had prior to the season opener when he had a couple of touchdowns in that Monday night victory over Baltimore. Then he was a no-go last week in the win over Pittsburgh. They were hoping the week off would get him to a point where he could play in this game. Not the case. fake the jet sweep, toss it underneath. Renfro emerges and gets right to the line to gain. Jalen Phillips in on that stop. We asked Hunter Renfro why year 3 has everything seemed to really click. He said, my understanding of coverages, I know what they're trying to do to defend me, my film study, a lot of back and forth with Derek Carr.
Monday, set.
And do you think the rest of the league will ever catch on? He's actually a superior athlete as well.
They should. Just short of the first down.
I don't think he got there.
He did not. Peyton Barber needed half a yard. Miami slams him down, and he lost a yard on the play.
Adam Butler, number 70. Zach Sealer, number 92. They created rubble, and I think Van Ginkel helped clean it up on the backside. There he is, Van Ginkel holding the point of attack, number 43. So the first two there were Butler 70, Sealer 92. Normally you pick up the blockers as defensive linemen and the linebacker cleans up. They did both.
So the punter A.J. Cole comes on.
Timeout, Las Vegas. A 30-second timeout.
And the Raiders call a timeout, now facing a 4th and 1. So Brian Flores, Landon Roberts, former Patriot, he gets it done first quarter. Adam Butler, former Patriot, he gets it done on a 3rd and short. And so far the defense is getting it done in general.
And coming into this game, I am you, myself, Evan, rest of our crew. We talked about, okay, Las Vegas coming in high, everyone talking about how great they are, et cetera, et cetera. And now it looks like they're going to run their offense back out on the field. Well, remember, Miami got mashed last week. We knew coming into this one with their pride, they were going to come ready to play. And so far, they've been the more aggressive team. I think John Gruden is going for it here, in a sense, to try and wake his team up a little bit. Right? Try and snap them out of that lethargy that this game has started with. Let's see if they can get going if they're able to get this one.
Yeah, Charles, they took that timeout, they talked it over, and they decided to go for it on 4th and 1.
He's gotten there with sneaks before.
Handoff. It's Barber. Denied by the Dolphins. No gain on the play. Miami takes over. Zach Sealer sealing the area for the Fish.
Back-to-back big plays. Look at the middle of the offensive line, and you see the push. It's white jerseys knocking black jerseys back. So there's no chance for Peyton Barber to even get going.
So far, everything going Miami's way.
Not all 5G networks are.
They stop the Raiders on 4th and 1. Field position inside the 35. And a handoff for Brown. Stumbles forward for a gain of 2.
Big play early. Foster Moreau's going to be a puller here, but watch what Zach Sealer does. He gets off the ball so well that Moreau's trying to come over and make a block, and he just knocks him back into the backfield and then makes the tackle. But it wasn't just Sealer. The Miami Dolphins own the line of scrimmage on that snap, and that's why they have the ball there after a failed 4th and short try by the Vegas Raiders.
So we see what Miami can do with this advantageous field position. They give it to Gaskin, looking for a running lane. And the shake and bake move gains 3 with Denzel Perriman sliding over to make the stop for Las Vegas. Miami had just 216 yards of offense last week. They allowed 314 to the Bills. And they were highly penalized, Charles. 9 penalties for 83 yards. That's more than any game they had in 2020.
A lot of their issues were up front, offensive and defensive line. Both prideful groups. This offensive line may be restructured, but so far early in this game, a much better performance.
Nickel package for the Raiders, flag down. Brissett fires it, and handled by Jalen Waddle. The rookie from Alabama. Penalty markers on both sides of the field, near side, far side. We've got co-coordinators for the Dolphins with Eric Studsville, 24 years in the NFL as a coach, and George Godsey, who's upstairs in his 11th year.
Offside defense. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
So they will accept the Waddle catch. How's this working right now? Because it's not something we hear about, Charles, all that often, co-offensive coordinators.
No, when you always hear that, you always hear about a staff that puts together a game plan. They collaborate with each other, but one person will call the plays on game day. The Dolphins haven't really told us who that is. My suspicion is it's George Godsey, since he's up in the booth.
We approach 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Little fake by Brown, and Brown's got room. Goodbye. Touchdown, Malcolm Brown. And the Dolphins add to their lead. A 24-yard rip.
Watch what happens here. Stop right there. Look at all those guys. Look at this. That's all cleaned up for Malcolm Brown. And he uses his vision to cut back left. He started this game ahead of Myles Gaskin, I suspect for pass protection, because they gave up a lot of protection issues last week. And Malcolm Brown, a bigger, thicker back, can help Jacoby Brissett. He could also tote the mail a little bit as well. And they take advantage of the short field after the Raiders turn it over on Deion Sanders, the extra point. And he curves it through. It's 14-0 Miami. Malcolm Brown, north-south runner, size, toughness, and his first touchdown. The Dolphins off to a 14-0 lead on the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders started last season 2-0. They finished the year at 8-8. This felt very different, though, than last season's 2-0 start based on the teams that they beat to get here. Yeah, see, I thought the whole week John Gruden would just be on his guys, trying to snap them out of it. Being 2-0 didn't get you to the playoffs last year, but he kind of alluded to he felt like they could handle things better this year.
So if you came into this one predicting that the Raiders would turn it over on a pick-6 when Derek Carr hasn't made many mistakes yet this season, that would have been a shocker, but it happened. And then the Raiders can't get it done on 4th and 1. Miami takes over. A little stop-and-go move by Brown for the touchdown. And the Raiders are in a 2-touchdown hole here in the first.
And if you predicted all of those things, I want to hang out with you.
Well, we are in Vegas. Shotgun for Carr. That pass was deflected as he released it, trying to hit Drake, but Zach Sealer in the area once again for Miami.
And he is off to a heck of a start. As we look at the ball control in the first quarter, if you look at those numbers, you think Las Vegas is in pretty good shape. 7:33 time of possession. But Miami's made the most of their limited opportunities, including the pick-6 by the linebacker, Landon Roberts.
Miami has won 7 of the last 8 meetings against the Raiders, 10 of the last 12 if you even go a little deeper. 3:04 to go, first quarter. 2nd and 10 for Las Vegas. Carr pulls the trigger. Underneath pass to Drake. Nice move by Kenyon Drake. Takes it to the 35-yard line, eventually brought down by Byron Jones, the veteran corner.
So last week when we saw the Raiders in Pittsburgh did not really give them much of an opportunity to run the football, and Derek Carr utilized the short passing game sometimes as kind of a substitute for their running game. So far in this game, Miami playing a lot of what we call single high safety, one free safety in the middle, and then they're playing more of a zone coverage on the outside and the perimeter. Underneath, let's see if these receivers can shake free and go. This looks like man-to-man coverage here.
2 set of downs for the Raiders. Carr, high pass. Henry Ruggs. They were trying to test Xavier Howard, and it's incomplete. Xavier Howard actually was a high school quarterback, and we asked him, really, what was the background there? He goes, I just wanted the ball in my hands. Well, he was told by his coaching staff, hey, we're going to move you to defense now. And he said, all I would dream about is getting the football, even on defense, and that's been his mindset from that day forward.
10 interceptions last year, led the NFL. That mindset has never left.
2nd and 10. Carr has time, delivers too high on the pass for Renfro. And coverage there from Nick Needham. Slot corner. Miami has come to play defensively.
I think he's their 3rd best cover corner, Nick Needham. Undrafted free agent out of UTEP. Look at the job he does running with Hunter Renfro, who's one of the savvier route runners in this league and often creates separation. Can't get it on Needham there. Very sticky coverage by the 3rd-year pro.
Seen a couple of high snaps to Derek Carr today. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, he's had to play a little shortstop back there, hasn't he, in order to bring it down.
3rd and 10. Carr unleashes a deep one, a wobbler, sliding grab by Renfro. He makes the adjustment and hauls it in at the 40-yard line.
Perfect analysis, Ian. He made the adjustment. The very last play, Nick Needham right in his hip pocket, can't get away. Here, he feels the pressure and makes a second move. Double move and gets downfield.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 25, defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
I think this is an example of Hunter Renfro. What did Derek Carr tell us? They run the same routes 1,000 times each, but never the same way in each time he runs them. And here's the penalty up at the top where the hand gets right into the face mask. And inside in the interior, you can get away with a little bit more with the rules. You know, keep it up there a little bit longer before getting it off. But outside, they're going to call it as soon as your hand gets up into that area.
They mark him down at the 40. It's a 25-yard pass play. And Hunter Renfro with another highlight. High snap over the head of Carr, and he is forced to toss it away. So we mentioned that this has been a building issue between him and Andre James.
And they're going to talk about whether this is going to be grounding or not, because Carr, did he get it back to the line of scrimmage, even though he's outside the tackle box? But there it is. That's what you've been discussing. And Andre James usually snaps the ball with what we call a flat snap. A lot of guys snap it back with spin to the quarterback. It's supposed to be kind of a flat, dead snap, which is supposed to be easier to control. But in this game, that has not been the case for Andre James.
And flag is out.
I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage, I think is going to be the call, even though he's outside the tackle box.
Intentional grounding, number 4, offense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down, second down.
And take it a step further here, Charles. He's fortunate the ball just popped right back to him.
Yeah, sometimes with that flat snap without the spin on it, doesn't cartwheel away from you, and it came up like a basketball dribble. And you're exactly right. Even more fortunate, otherwise it could have been a bigger disaster for the Raiders.
It's a huge loss, though. It's an 18-yard loss on the poor snap.
And let's see how aggressive Miami gets here. The rookie Jalen Phillips out of Miami hasn't done that much so far, but they've got him out on the field, a tremendous pass rusher.
90 seconds to go, first quarter. Carr hit as he throws. The wobbler is caught along the sideline. Kenyon Drake, but he was out of bounds.
Carr certainly felt the pressure in the pocket because I believe it was Emmanuel Ogbah from one side and Jalen Phillips from the other. There's the rookie out of Miami, Phillips, but on the backside, Ogbah creates the extra pressure. And then look at Drake adjusting to the football, makes the catch, but doesn't get both feet down.
Ogbah, who won a Super Bowl with Kansas City, has been a really nice addition for Miami last year and this year. Now they're hoping to see a lot more from Jalen Phillips, who's getting the reps now and adjusting to that new role at the linebacker position. Third and 28.
Look how they loosened up on the coverage there with that 3rd and 28.
Moreau off the soft toss. Miami's not going to let him get past that second level and limited to an 8-yard pickup. The Raiders will punt it as we count it down to 1 minute to play in the first quarter.
So Brian Flores is the head coach. He's a defensive guy, although he will tell you all the time, I am a head coach. I coach all positions, and he does. But defense is what got him the job. Josh Boyer, his defensive coordinator, they work together in tandem. Boyer with a nice call there, had the advantage, 3rd and 28, played zone, throw it underneath, rally up, make the tackle.
A.J. Cole to kick it. Jakeem Grant waits for it, over his head, bounces at the 6, and the Raiders get down the field. And a flag comes down. Looks like the Raiders had downed it, and now they're getting into it. There was contact at the end of the play. Miami's special teamer made contact. Zay Jones got down the field to down it.
Now the determination, did he down it, keep possession, did it go in the end zone? And no coach likes to see flags, no coach likes to see fights. But I will tell you, I think John Gruden likes seeing that spirit here at the end of it, because I think he's been worried about his team, the way that they've started, been sleepwalking a little bit. If this allows him to come alive, he'll take it.
So Zay Jones,
that might be the penalty right there.
Felt that he had held up. Byron Jones spun the body around, and that's where the contact was made.
It feels like the play was over and Byron Jones spun him around. Let's see what the call does ultimately come out to be.
Officials huddle up. Carl Cheffers will deliver the news. Looked like the Raiders had done everything correctly.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24 of the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
So do you just take the ball and turn it? Because it was right there.
Yes. That penalty just cost them 0 yards. The ball was inside the 1.
I mean, I've always loved when the officials are like that. How far do I move it? You just kind of rock it a little, move it. But here, if you are Miami, your biggest fear now is, does Gus Bradley, who normally doesn't blitz much, does he crowd the line of scrimmage, try and sneak in there and create a pile up in the backfield and create a safety?
They have the lowest blitz rate in the NFL through the first 2 weeks. Just 3 called blitzes. Jacoby Brissett operating out of his own end zone. His team is up 14-0. He will throw it. Oh, the catch and blasted Jalen Waddle at a safety. Casey Hayward was all over it for Las Vegas.
Boy, you nailed that one, because if you watch the play, as you saw the highlight, Casey Hayward never took a retreat step. He was seeing the snap to the quarterback as well as the receiver. One eye on the receiver, one eye on the snap to the quarterback. And as soon as he saw the quarterback turn, he just triggered and went right there. Never was pressed, never got into a back pedal, and went up and made a huge play. And I do believe this Raiders team is waking up.
And Charles, that is an odd call at the goal line. Normally you see teams run it, try to create a little bit of space, a yard or two, or you just take a shot downfield.
Right.
But to toss it to the end zone and give the defense a chance.
And not even have a blocker pulling as a protector out on that screen. So very interesting call there. But how about the veteran savvy of Casey Hayward to be able to do what we call cluing on the corner? You see the receiver with one eye, the quarterback action with the other, and you're able to make your break and make a big play.
And it had been a while for the Raiders producing a safety since 2015. So for Brian Flores and company, mostly positive grades in this opening quarter, but a blemish here at the end of the period.
Well, actually 2 plays. Byron Jones, roughhousing, that got the Raiders going, and then that call kind of opened the door a little bit to let the Raiders wake up.
Free kick from Pilardi. Ruggs stood up and tossed down at the 37-yard line. 26 seconds to go in this opening quarter. It's 14-2 Miami.
There's Coach Jean-Pierre, the offensive line coach, working with his new unit. Jesse Davis at right tackle last week, now playing left guard. Austin Jackson had a poor game last week, and they made sure he knew about it. He and Jesse Davis combined on 2 tremendous blocks on the touchdown run by Malcolm Brown. But now they've got to see if their defense can continue to play well.
But the leadership of Brissett, he went to his offensive lineman and told him, hey, guys, this isn't all on you. Everybody has to play better.
Yeah, it seems trite when they say it takes all 11, but it's true.
Hand off to Peyton Barber, falls forward across the 40. First man to greet him, Jalen Phillips, and will pick up 4 on the play. Josh Boyer, in his second year running the defense for Miami, goes back with Brian Flores to the New England days. He won 3 Super Bowls as a part of the Patriots staff.
And look at the Raiders getting right back up on the line of scrimmage.
Not going to snap it, though. Raiders went out there, but time runs out here in the opening quarter. Every week, full of surprises around the NFL. 1 quarter of play complete. It's 14-2. Dolphins. Welcome back, Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. They broke ground in November of 2017, and what a venue. Second down at 6 to open up this second quarter. Carr holds on to the ball, and the dart is incomplete. Kenyon Drake, the intended receiver. Ogba put the heat on Carr. We send it down to Evan.
Well, guys, we've seen some errant snaps from Andre James in this first half. I kept a close eye on him after that last series where he had one go way wide. Did have some tape removed from that right hand. Nothing too aggressive, but something to keep an eye on. 55. Has it heavily taped right now, trying to clean this thing up.
Yeah, he's in his 3rd year, Evan, from UCLA, replacing a veteran and a perennial Pro Bowler of Rodney Hudson, who's now in Arizona. 3rd down and 6. Carr out of the pocket, throws on the move downfield, wide open. Catch secured by Ruggs. 1st down, Las Vegas.
We spent a lot of time talking about quarterbacks who can move and extend plays and create them. Derek Carr is not a name that comes up in that, but he does a really nice job in and out of the pocket. Moved to his right, found a good sight lane, and stuck it on Henry Ruggs.
Carr, 4 straight 300-yard games. Running play to Kenyon Drake, not much there. Picks up 3. Carr trying to tie Rich Gannon. He's still a couple of games away. The team record is 6 straight 300-yard games. Gannon did it back in 2002, that brilliant season that he had for the Raiders, and they came up just short in the Super Bowl.
Rich was the MVP of the league that year, and deservedly so. A monster season. Remember, he was such a great athlete. They were talking about moving him to safety at one point. Glad they didn't. They would have missed a heck of a quarterback.
Yeah, Rich stuck by his guns that he was a QB and did it for so long and did it well. Hot throw to Darren Waller. And Waller has got a 1st down in a matchup with Eric Rowe. Waller had his way with Rowe in the matchup last season, week 16.
Last season, that matchup you're talking about, Waller had 5 catches for 112 yards, most of them over or beyond Rowe. In this game so far, I've seen corners and safeties matching up with Darren Waller. Byron Jones has matched up with him numerous times already, so it'll change throughout the game about who gets the assignment with Darren Waller, often more than one guy.
What did Pittsburgh do against Waller last week?
They doubled him on just about everything, high and low, someone underneath, someone over the top.
Check to a running play. It's Drake. Carries a defender with him. Nice physical run to the 25 and gashes him for 6 yards. Sealer with another tackle for the Dolphins.
Notice how they're starting to utilize the run a little bit more now. I've mentioned it a few times already. This Raiders team did not seem ready to go out of the gate. But after a couple of plays recently, they seem to be on their toes a little bit more. And it feels to me that John Gruden is the play caller. Greg Olson's offensive coordinator. They're riding that wave a little bit with the offensive line, utilizing the running game a little bit more.
Yeah, that's also why time of possession isn't always a fair barometer of how the game is going, because they're dominating time of possession right now against Miami, yet they're down 14-2. Carr, double pump, airs it out, and he was looking for Barber down the sideline, incomplete.
I think that was more to avoid the sack and realize he could get rid of it over the sideline than anything else. I think it's a smart play by Derek Carr. Starting to get heat in the pocket, nowhere to go with the ball, just throw it over the sideline, and maybe you get lucky and Barber makes a circus catch, but otherwise, no harm.
3rd down and 4 here for Las Vegas.
So Waller is right here at the top of the screen, and Renfro, your 3rd down guy, is right here.
Nickel defense for Miami. Raiders looking to convert. Carr engulfed. And it's Brandon Jones. They bring the blitz, and it pays off. A loss of 7 on the play.
One of the highest blitzing rates in the league resides in Miami. And there is Brandon Jones, 29, working in tandem with number 70, Adam Butler, number 92, Zach Sealer, 2 bigs, and he defeats the attempted block by the running back, goes right over the top of him and puts Carr on the ground. So, Ian, how do you beat 3rd and Renfro? You knock the quarterback down and don't let him throw it.
And Daniel Carlson is on for a 50-yard attempt. He has made 26 straight field goals. Carlson, the kick. He nails it. Last week, he went against himself in fantasy football and lost the game. That's just tremendous.
Joy and pain in one weekend.
Last week, he won AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. And he has cut into this Miami lead with a 50-yard field goal, now 14-5. Dolphins. Grant is the return man for Miami.
Good job by the Dolphins defense. A good drive by the Raiders, and they shut it down and just gave up a field goal.
And Daniel's brother Anders is currently the kicker at Auburn. Well, we mentioned it, great week for Carlson, except, quote, I actually played against myself in fantasy, so that was tough because I took a loss. I definitely contributed to that. You know, I think in the balance
He's okay.
Yeah, you take the actual win over the fantasy win.
So in a league, I wonder if they said you can't take yourself, or did just one of his buddies take him because?
Yeah, I think that. I think the latter. I think it's the latter. He plays in a league against his college buddies.
Are you in one of those leagues?
I am. I've been in the league since 1991. Same league.
How's it going?
Going really well. Step up and throw by Brissett, and it's caught. Jacoby Brissett puts a little mustard on it to Devontae Parker. 13 yards and a first down for Miami.
Watch Brissett, big guy, but manipulates the pocket well, climbs it, and then makes a really good throw to the outside where Devontae Parker uses his big frame to keep Casey Hayward behind him and make the catch.
Yet to see Will Fuller involved, playing in his first game as a Dolphin. Fuller missed last week because of personal reasons, was finishing up a suspension in week 1. Outside slippery run by Myles Gaskin to get to the perimeter and turned it into a 4.5-yard gain. Trayvon Merring over there to help make the play. What is it Miami's looking to do offensively with Brissett in there as opposed to Tua?
Well, I think it's a very similar offense, but I think that they're relying on Brissett for him seeing things that a defense may present, get them into the proper play. And now I think in this ball game, if that pocket collapses, last week he stayed in and tried to make throws. I think he may take off and go a little bit and try and hurt the defense that way. But how about Austin Jackson on that pull? Big man filled up the screen. 2nd and 6.
Play fake. Brissett on the move. Hits his man. A strike to Will Fuller, his first catch as a Dolphin. We asked Brissett, what will Fuller bring to the table? He says, well, have you watched the film? Because he can take the top off a defense.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that they say looks like he's barely running, except he's 30 yards past you. And he does a really good job there of reading the defense, curling inside, and presenting that number 3 back to Jacoby Brissett for a good connection.
Former Houston Texan signed to a 1-year, $10 million deal, known for his speed, has had some issues with drops through the years. Back to the ground game. Gaskin carries to midfield. They'll whistle him down after the gain of 1. With Jacoby Brissett, we asked him, where are you better compared to New England, compared to Indianapolis? And he said, I think my mechanics have improved, and my understanding of the game is at a much higher level as well.
Remember, he's a guy who could have moped around. Lost a job in Indianapolis. He didn't think he deserved to lose. Instead, he stayed with it and worked on the mental side of the game as well as continuing to get better as a quarterback on the field.
2nd down and 9 for the Dolphins. Miami trying to put some points on the board after Las Vegas settled for a field goal. Running play. And it's Gaskin again squeezing through across the 45-yard line.
You asked me a minute ago about what I thought Brissett may bring. I feel like that was one of the things in terms of the mental side. He read the coverage of the Raiders, and I believe he checked in back into a run on that one, Ian. 2 safeties deep. The box was a little bit lighter, and he checked out of a pass, I believe, back to a run inside to Gaskin to set up 3rd and manageable.
And Charles, he mentioned meditation has become a big part of his life. He's really gotten into it the last 3 years. He started in Indianapolis, yoga as well, and it just keeps his emotions in check. 3rd down and 3. Fake the run. Instead, it's a pitch to Gesicki, and it works. 1st down. Mike Gesicki picks up 4 when they needed 3. So Jacoby Brissett's now in his 6th year in the NFL. Started with the Patriots, actually started 2 games during the Tom Brady suspension, ends up getting dealt to the Colts. The Luck injury forces him into action, then Luck retires, so Brissett gets another opportunity to be the starter, but then they bring in Phillip Rivers. So he's learned from Brady, he's learned from Luck, and he's learned from Phillip Rivers. On that give to Brown, who had the touchdown earlier, and he is hit hard at the 40 by Darius Philon. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, and you mentioned the meditation for Brissett. He actually picked that up while in Indianapolis. He said it helps him manage the roller coaster that has been his career, saying it brings you back to living in the moment, controlling the emotions, the ups and downs, and just trying to have fun. As we know, he's a fun-loving guy, but it's been a stressful 6 years for Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and his main objective is said, just be a good teammate. That means a lot to him, being a steadying influence for the guys. They give Gaskin an opportunity, nearly loses his footing. And then drives for a gain of 1 with Corey Littleton there defensively. Yeah, we talked about the Raiders' defensive improvements from last year to this year, Charles. A lot of it has to do with Gus Bradley and getting guys that know his system that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, he's brought a number of guys with him, and I think it always strikes me when people see that as a big story. That happens a lot. Coaches want guys around that he can trust and can implement his system, but above all, can play really at a really high level doing it.
Raiders going with a nickel look. This is a 3rd and 9 for Miami, just inside the Las Vegas 40. Brissett trying to deal with the rush. Dump off is incomplete. Gaskin, the intended receiver, and the pressure from Ngakoue.
And the Raiders showed too deep and rolled into a single safety coverage, but the rush was so quick, it foiled the screenplay. They're trying to get to Gaskin, but Ngakoue was on the quarterback, Brissett, so fast, he couldn't take the normal time you need to dump off the screen.
Now, once again, we see a team in no man's land. They make a decision, a quick one. Miami's going to punt it. We'd be looking at a 57-yard field goal attempt, which apparently today is not a big issue. Some of the numbers we're seeing around the NFL, including Justin Tucker. Pilardi trying to place it. And he will. Inside the 5. Well executed. 34-yard kick. And Miami gets it done with Mac Hollins down the field on special teams. 14-5.
We're good.
Raiders are backed up deep in their own territory. They trail the Dolphins 14-5. They're running their 31st offensive play of this first half. Carr, swing pass for Barber. Stiff arm. And angled out of bounds with a flag down. A couple of them, in fact. Landon Roberts, overzealous.
As aggressive as they are on defense, Barber clearly in the white, I believe, on the sideline when Roberts contacted him.
And Carl Cheffers.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 52, defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic. First down.
As a defensive coordinator, you preach all the time, run to the football, finish the play. And Landon Roberts launched, but it was a little bit too late. Barber already on the sideline.
And he was the second man in, so that's 15 yards tacked on to the 5-yard pass.
Toe.
Yeah, I like the word you use there. Not malicious, just overzealous.
Line of scrimmage is now the 25.
What is it?
Running play for Barber. Stood up. Hole never developed. Forward progress will get him 4. Darren Waller, week 1, it was ridiculous. 19 targets. He had 10 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. And then in week 2, the numbers dropped considerably based on the way the defense approached it.
But you mentioned earlier in the game how there have been a number of contributors on offense. So while the numbers went down for Waller, everyone else figured in a bigger way.
Fake the handoff. Carr off his back foot. Touch. Hauled in. Henry Ruggs climbs the ladder against Xavier Howard. 23-yard hookup.
And this catch and throw goes back to training camp. Goes back to a quote Derek Carr said. When you play with speed guys and you work out with your receivers, they have to show it to you in training camp, in the offseason, so that you'll trust that throw in a game. So if he's not there day in and day out and they're working on these things, he knows that Ruggs can go up and get it because he's seen it in practice. So he gave him that chance there on that last play.
Now in Miami territory at the 48. Carr lets it rip underneath. Good hands there, but it's ruled incomplete for Peyton Barber.
Well, he felt Jerome Baker coming. Barber was trying to make a move while the catch it still needed to be made because he felt Baker bearing down on him. Instead of securing the ball, he's trying to catch it and move away from Baker and unable to hold on to it.
When we asked John Gruden about Henry Ruggs, he said, hey, guys, he didn't have a whole lot of experience at Alabama. We believed in him. We saw the upside. Really talented, great kid. He's taken advantage of the opportunities, but got hurt last year.
First charge, timeout, Miami.
Not physically hurt, but hurt by the fact that they didn't have a normal training camp and preparation in 2020. Back in 30 seconds after this from DirecTV Stream.
With DirecTV Stream, I can get
Interesting first half here in Las Vegas with the Dolphins in front 14-5. Miami making plays defensively. Las Vegas has made some big plays defensively as well. And Miami has not mustered a whole lot offensively in this first half. They haven't had to, but Raiders have had some opportunities now. They're moving down the field.
But the last time they moved down the field, Miami stiffened as they got close to the goal line, forced them to kick a field goal. So that ultimately became a win for the Dolphin defense.
Las Vegas, 2 timeouts left. 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. Single setback, Barber. Carr on time to Waller. He's got those long strides after the catch, and he veers out of bounds for 12 and a first down.
So John Gruden and Greg Olson as play callers noticed that Byron Jones has been matching up with Darren Waller. Okay, that's cool. Got a corner with speed. That's great. So let's use a little bit of a rub route. Make him run through some traffic to shake him free. Successful on that call.
Hey, go.
Carr with 169 yards, the pick 6, a Landon Roberts interception and return for a touchdown for Miami. New set of downs to work with. Motion man Ruggs, running play for Barber. 2 yards as he keeps the legs churning. Brought down by Christian Wilkins on the play for Miami. Dolphins won their opener on the road in Foxborough. They have not started a season with consecutive road wins since 2013.
Hey, leave.
An issue for Miami, at least through the first 2 weeks, allowing teams to convert on 3rd down at a high rate, 62%, worse than the NFL. Right now, Raiders have a 2nd down and 8.
Those kind of numbers reminiscent of the Titans last year and their struggles on 3rd down.
And Miami will stop Barber short of the line again, so it will be 3rd and manageable here for Las Vegas. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. 5-yard pickup for Barber.
Excellent gain on an inside run there for Las Vegas to set up that 3rd and much shorter than you might expect. And the reason I pointed out Waller on the last play, they will continue to move him around. He's often on the backside of a formation where he's in a one-on-one situation. In this case, he's going to be in a bunch.
55.
To the right, there's Waller 83, Renfro 13, and Ruggs now leaving the bunch and going in motion.
3rd down and 3 for Las Vegas. Carr through the air. Well designed to Ruggs. Working that sideline, and a flag is thrown late. Javon Holland, the rookie out of Oregon, over there defensively, 21 yards on the pitch and catch.
And that was just a version of a running play, essentially. It may have been a throw, but in a lot of ways it was like a toss sweep or a little bit of an option play to the backside of a defense. Getting Ruggs in space. Look at this.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 8, defense.
It's helmet to helmet.
A 15-yard penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Yeah, the enthusiastic rookie out of Oregon, Javon Holland, who's given them good play so far. An easy call for the officials. Up above the shoulder area, that was exactly what the definition of helmet to helmet would be.
And it's going to set up the Raiders 1st and goal inside the 5. Carr has stated throughout the week, hey, we want you to be loud just when the Raiders are on defense, not on offense here at Allegiant.
What is it?
Handoff. Spilled out, Peyton Barber. And secured there by Ingold. So that could have been a serious problem as the ball pops free, but right into the hands of the fullback Ingold for their first touchdown of the day. 2nd and goal for Las Vegas.
What is it?
Carr. End zone. Touchdown. Alec Ingold. Ingold wanted to join the fans in the front row. He had to double clutch there just for a moment.
Have to lower the wall a little bit. What the Raiders did, look, after the fumble by Barber, My suspicion was that John Gruden would go play action here because once a back coughs it up, sometimes you're not willing to give it to him again. So he came out and showed heavy formation, 3 tight ends, and all of them with the ability to catch the football. And Ingold shows why he's a versatile fullback once again.
10 plays, 95 yards, the extra point tacked on by Carlson. Alec Ingold with a touchdown grab, a high school wrestling champion who then had to some miscues. Miami took advantage. Dolphins still maintain the lead, but Las Vegas creeping a little closer here. Carlson, shorter kick. Returner is Grant from the 10. Trying to find an opening, cannot. And he is tackled at the 24. On September 14th, less than 24 hours after the Raiders' Week 1 overtime win over the Ravens, defensive lineman Solomon Thomas took part in a discussion about mental health with Las Vegas youth during a city event. Thomas shared his journey with mental wellness after losing his sister Ella to suicide. He also discussed how therapy, meditation, and several other methods helped him cope with his depression. Thomas, formerly with the San Francisco 49ers, already having a major impact on this Raiders D. Brissett steps up, out of the pocket, throws on the move, touch pass, bobbled and dropped by Will Fuller with a flag down, 2 of them in fact. And shaken up on the play is the veteran Casey Hayward Jr., who's been playing at an exceptionally high level for the Raiders. Looked like Brissett did everything right, but Will Fuller couldn't secure it after the hit from Abram.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 25, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And it's Merrick called on the hold.
The rookie out of TCU, the free safety. You saw the big hit by Abram, and a very intelligent hit too. Made sure he hit in the proper strike zone to help jar the ball free and didn't incur another penalty. Merrick with the hold away from the play. There's Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders. Got a rejuvenated unit on his hands so far here in the early going of 2021.
And Hayward comes to the sideline for Las Vegas.
Is that Damon Arnett replacing him out on the wing?
Yeah, we saw that a little bit last week.
And that was an attack point for Pittsburgh. Arnett at the top of the screen.
Jacoby Brissett has to eat it. Carl Nassib combining with Solomon Thomas. And the Raiders get to the quarterback. Timeout called.
Look at Nassib from the top of the screen. The rookie from Notre Dame, Liam Eichenberg, number 674, gets the start at right tackle. Nassib takes advantage of his inexperience. He's there first. Solomon Thomas, who you just mentioned, Ian, is there second.
134, please.
And then piling on at the top. Get a little bit of extra help there over the top from Cleveland Furl. 13-yard loss on that sack.
Yeah, Miami has been limited to 77 yards of offense. Las Vegas has 1 timeout remaining. We have 1:34 to play in this first half.
And how careful will Miami be here this deep in their own zone headed towards the half?
They will go conservative, but Gaskin turns it upfield. Spin move and hit from behind. Brought down at the 30-yard line, well short of a first down. So not taking any chances. Quentin Jefferson collaborates with Divine Diablo on the tackle and a timeout call. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. The guys will have you covered back in the studio. NFL scores, highlights, all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. So the Raiders are out of timeouts. 1:21 to play.
Please set the game clock to 1:23. 1, 2, 3, please.
So attack on 2 seconds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love your rapport with the guys that wear the white hats.
You know, it's always about chemistry, Charles.
But the amazing part is it's with everyone. Not you have it with 1 or 2 guys, but you have it with the entire crew. Everyone with a white hat, you're locked in on.
I am.
Now, if I'm Miami here, this whole first half, your defense is fought and scratched. I'd be very, very careful with the throw here. They're extremely conservative and not giving that pass rush a chance.
3rd and 9. It's a deep drop. Brissett steps up. Brissett, nice fake. Jacoby Brissett gets tattooed at the 40, but he has enough for the first down. Denzel Perriman with the hit. There are two quarterbacks on the roster. Reed Sinnott was elevated from the practice squad.
Well, they certainly weren't going with what I was thinking on that. When you mentioned a deep drop, trying to find something downfield, and Brissett not willing to wait as long as he did last week in the game against Buffalo. When it's time to go, he went and picked up a first down, even though he had to absorb a big hit from Perriman to do so.
If he slides down there, he would have been short. So Brissett, good awareness of the situation. Brissett hits his man Fuller at midfield, and now Miami's got something going here. 10-yard pickup, 2 timeouts remaining.
Good hit there by Perriman, but as you noted, Brissett willing to trade the hit for the first down, because if he slides feet first, he doesn't get to the marker. Really good observation. And on that last play, how about the pass protection from the offensive line, giving Brissett time to clutch and make another throw.
Yeah, he took a shot to the upper arm, shoulder area. Don't forget, Verizon halftime report. NFL scores, highlights. We'll send it back to the studio. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Miami has 1 timeout remaining, 35 seconds left. They are at midfield.
And that sprint by Brissett changed the whole outlook, didn't it, Ian? By picking up the first down here in midfield, it opens up the playbook a little bit more as the clock winds down.
Shotgun, Brissett, great hands, and it's Gesicki.
And leaping ability. That goes back to high school, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gesicki is a basketball player, volleyball player, tremendous hops. Come out of high school, gets both feet down, tremendous hands catch. Now watch him take it over the bench. Guess we saw that before. We took it over the side and hurdled that as well.
2nd down and 1 after the grab by Gesicki.
4 down. Double.
It's part of that tight end summit in Nashville. He said it was amazing. So much knowledge there, just being around all the great tight ends around the NFL, sharing experiences, just trying to absorb it all. Catch made by the rookie Jalen Waddle. Now there's 26 seconds left. Timeout taken. So the Raiders took the 2 timeouts with the idea that they would have time to go down the field and score. It's actually ended up helping Miami, who will have a chance. Back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's.
There's a new team in the NFL.
One that plays for home. Everyone's home. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro.
This team has your back. We can help you tackle any project.
We're the Lowe's home team, and anyone can be on it.
Are you in?
Try out for the Lowe's home team today.
27 seconds left. Miami is inside the Las Vegas 35. They lead this one 14-12. Dolphins are out of timeouts. Have to scoop it up. Brissett tried to dump it off. Ngakoue getting into the face of Jacoby Brissett, and it's incomplete. Another low snap.
Now you notice the difference between Dieter's snaps where he has the spin on it, Andre James with the flat snap, but either way there have been issues for both sides so far in this game. I don't know how much sweat and things are going on down there with the guys that maybe it's affecting them. We saw that with Matt Skura last year when he was at Baltimore. But the beauty for Miami is this drive, they're already in field goal range. Last thing they want to do is take themselves out of it here right before the half.
2nd down and 10. Brissett, step and throw. It's complete at the 30. They have no timeouts remaining. Jalen Waddle with the catch. We're down to 14 seconds left.
Get up on the line of scrimmage right away with Brissett. At 10, they got to think and make sure they get the 3 out of this one. Don't mess that up.
Brissett down to 2 seconds, and they spike it there. That's where Miami will try a field goal with Jason Sanders.
But how about that leadership there by Brissett? And you can see a veteran who's been in situations before, couldn't you, Ian? He wasn't hurried. He wasn't flustered. He knew exactly where they were going. Let them know we're just going to run the clock down, take the snap, and set up the field goal. No one jump. No one make a mistake. Good leadership.
So the operation here for Miami, it is Blake Ferguson, the snapper. Pilardi, the punter, holds it, and Sanders will attempt a 48-yarder. He's got a strong leg. Career long of 56. 48 yards away. Off the post. Doink. And no good. Time expires. No points. Sanders had more than enough. The upright gets in the way. And didn't get the bounce.
Remember, he won the game here last year with a field goal at the buzzer. Raiders fans think that's justice for them right there.
14-12. Miami leads the Raiders. End of the first half. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your.
Pass to the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
This is for an NFL record 66 yards. On its way. It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Carr gets rid of it. Intercepted. A Landon Rock. Second half action at halftime. What a moment. Tom Flores in his gold jacket. New Hall of Famer Jim Plunkett there, CEO of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Dave Baker there. And his grandson, Brian Flores, same name as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, sang the national anthem to open things up. Congratulations to the Flores family.
Congratulations, Coach.
Absolutely. Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn, the rest of our CBS crew. This has been eventful. 14-12. Let's take it from both perspectives. If you're Miami and you're Brian Flores, not Tom's grandson, but the head coach of the Dolphins, what do you take away from that first half?
Right, you take away the fact that you were the more physical team right out of the gate, and you should have had points at the end, but you like the way the offense finally started to move right at the end. And if you're the Raiders, you finally woke up. Now you're back in the game.
So touchback to open up this third quarter. We send it downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, Ian, despite being down, I caught up with a relatively upbeat John Gruden. He said he felt like his team just needs to calm down in this second half. They did some of that in the second quarter. Avoid the catastrophic mistake is how he put it. Obviously, that being the missed snaps and the bad snaps and the pick six. As for Brian Flores and the Dolphins, the priority offensively, which Jacoby Brissett under center, continue to run the ball. Feels like that's how they can stay in this game, keep this lead, and hold off these Raiders.
Yeah, Evan Gaskin has 34 yards rushing. Brown has 32. There is Jalen Waddle getting him to the outside, and 3 flags fly on the play.
Yeah. This will be one of those new rules where you can't cut a guy down in the open field like that. I believe Malcolm Brown going low on the block out in the open field.
Personal foul, low block, number 34, offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And that is penalty number 4 against Miami in that first half. Just 131 total yards. They make the big play on defense. Raiders with 218 yards. The turnover was a pick 6, a Landon Roberts.
And you go back to that penalty. Gene Steratore educated us about that this offseason. Get outside of the tight end box, 5 yards downfield. Neither side can go low to take out the legs of an opponent.
Motion man Waddle, running play Gaskin, and he's tossed down by Carl Nassib. We asked Brian Flores what has to change. Last week, team was shut out. What needs to change? He said communication, fundamentals, technique, execution. He said we did not do a good job in any of those areas. And he said, I know this team will learn from it.
Yeah, and that's not a new message from him, you know, but by him telling us that, that's what he's been preaching since OTAs. You know, that's what they talk about every day. Those things have to be on point. Otherwise, a result such as last week, that's what you get.
Play fake, Brissett set up the screen. Gaskin, a good receiver, gets clobbered at the 20-yard line. So a catch for Gaskin, but Perriman and Abram there to tackle him after a gain of 4 through the air.
Earlier in the game, and you talked about Gus Bradley, the new defensive coordinator for the Raiders, bringing his guys with him. Denzel Perryman would be one of those guys, a middle linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers. He has played exceedingly well. He has what Gus Bradley calls presence. Guys respond to him, and he's played very well here in the first 3 games for the Raiders.
Yeah, he is a thumper. On third down. Waddle loses the ball after the grab. Miami is there to recover it, and they will punt it away. But they didn't do much with the opening drive of this third quarter. Solomon Thomas there defensively and going airborne.
And I think his knee was already down at the same time, but still you see the effect of a Raiders defense that rallies. That was what Jacoby Brissett told us in our meeting. They are all over the screen when you watch tape.
Yeah.
You know, you see so many black jerseys around the football.
Not much pressure there. Pilardi gets it off cleanly. Return man, Renfro, contact, avoids it twice. And then the second effort on special teams drops Renfro at the 30-yard line. A 4-yard return after the 51-yard punt. Raiders trying to take the lead. And the man directing them is Derek Carr. At Allegiant Stadium, just off Dean Martin Drive. And a give to Peyton Barber. Keeps those legs driving, gets pushed from behind. Extra yards, Moreau with the help. And a first down for the Raiders. He picks up 14.
So they're starting to get some good push from the guys up front. Earlier in the game, the white shirts were infiltrating the backfield. Now you're starting to see the guys up front, the offensive linemen, move this along the line of scrimmage back towards the goal line of Miami.
First down for Las Vegas, just across the 40-yard line.
Hey, what you want, John? Hey, Larry. Hey, for me.
Barber remains in there. Motion man Renfro. Fake it. Carr, protection holds up. The time. The bomb. Incomplete, and he had Ruggs. Holland back deep along with Rowe.
So this Raiders offense, we've seen they tried to move the ball on the ground a little bit more, but when they see this man coverage, you have to make some adjustments. There's a double move. Now we're going to get some of those crossing routes where you hope a defender rubs into another defender, and then just use your speed and pre-snap motion and get Henry Ruggs in his 4.27 speed into some open space. And I was going to say, don't forget, take the deep shot. Well, they just did. We're going to see a little bit more of that here in the second half from the Raiders.
Hey, Bossy.
I believe Daryl LaMonica just got a mention. Toss it to Darren Waller.
Did he? Okay, so if he said Daryl LaMonica right after a deep ball, what was Daryl LaMonica known as? The Mad Bomber. Perfect.
Pick up 4 yards on that throw to Darren Waller. And now brings up 3rd down and 6 for the Raiders. Just underway in the third quarter.
Let's see about this pass rush here from Miami. Jalen Phillips, the rookie first rounder, number 15 on the field. Emmanuel Ogbah, number 91, also opposite him at the other defensive end. Can they apply a little bit of heat on Derek Carr? There's Phillips right there. Ogbah here.
Miami missing Raekwon Davis. He's on IR with a knee injury. 3rd and 6, pressure coming. Get rid of it to Zay Jones. And Jones gets taken down. The Raiders want a flag, and they'll get one. Around the neck, Justin Coleman. He has enough for the first down either way, but we're probably going to tack some yardage on.
And we just talked about how the different ways they'll attack the man coverage of Miami. That was another way. They motioned back to a bunch formation. Zay Jones coming inside.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 27, defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play, automatic. First down.
And Ogbah applied the pressure. Carr hung in there, and you see him get him up there around the helmet area. Justin Coleman, number 27, twisting Zay Jones around. Zay Jones, the hero of opening night. 31-yard touchdown catch in overtime to beat Baltimore.
9 different receivers have caught at least one pass for the Raiders. That continues to be a theme every week for Las Vegas. Trickery. Ruggs gets hit from behind by Jalen Phillips, trying to get Ruggs out to the open field, and now he is down. 7-yard pickup. Ruggs was trying to get himself up, but collapsed down in pain. Six foot, 200 pounds. He put some weight on during the offseason.
Yeah, trying to get stronger. They said he had about 13 pounds of muscle. He takes the hit there.
Phillips is a big dude, 6'6", 266.
And he can move it pretty well. And I like what I'm seeing out of Jalen Phillips with Miami, and I like what Miami's doing with him today, Ian. They've made him an outside linebacker, and he was a rush end in college. And I think that he was thinking too much. Got caught in space, dropping into coverage. Today, they pretty much said to him, line up and go get the quarterback. That's what he does best. I think his play has increased.
Transfer from UCLA to Miami. Ends up getting taken 18th overall in the 2021 draft.
Thought he was the best pass rusher in the draft last year, the best pure one. See if he can get activated for the Dolphins.
Raiders are threatening here. Running play, Peyton Barber. 4 yards, needed 3. First down, Las Vegas.
How about this offensive line starting to come together? Leatherwood 70 blocking down. Moreau 87. Inside, Jermaine Illuminor 72. The guard they picked up September 2nd holds the point of attack. There's the rookie out of Alabama, Leatherwood, who got hurt last week against Pittsburgh. Didn't play much in the second half, but has come back strong this 1 week later, showing his toughness, playing with an injury many thought would have him out of the lineup.
First down for the Raiders. They trail 14-12. Another running play, Kenyon Drake. And he's pushed backwards after the gain of 2. We asked Carr about Leatherwood. He said, it's a little disarming. In the huddle, Leatherwood locks in on me. Full eye contact. I'm not accustomed to that. Most guys are looking around. They might glance at you. He's quiet. He does his job. But there's that moment you're like, oh, wow, he's into this.
He is locked in. And somewhere Nick Saban and his staff at Alabama smiling. Of course he's locked in. That's what we teach.
Second and 8. They're down to 8:38 to play in the third. 8th play of the drive. Carr pulls the trigger. Catch is made inside the 5, Moreau, and a flag down.
I think he's going to go against Moreau. I think they're going to get him for pushing off here to create that space.
Pass interference, number 87, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
Had a touchdown last week in that win over Pittsburgh.
See him working inside, does a nice little arm over move. And you see the left arm, it wasn't much, but because it extends all the way out, it's very easy for the officials to see. And they get you on the intent, not necessarily how much he got the player, but the intent was for him to push off, and it was just enough. And the kind of call all officials would make in that situation.
Yeah, John Gruden was really proud of how many different contributors were a part of that win last week against Pittsburgh, including Moreau. And he said, yes, it's a cliche, but the next man up idea is real. It's a real thing. Timeout taken by the Raiders with the clock winding down.
What he liked most is the next man up who can actually play well. Remember how he said
that helps. Yeah, he did couch it.
He said, I like next man up. I like the next man up who plays well. And Moreau has done that for him since they drafted him. How about him coming back from that knee injury? Last year was kind of a year to get his legs back under him after the injury. They had Jason Witten here to take some of the pressure off. And now he's back full go and a full contributor on offense.
Yeah, John Gruden, in our sit down with him, he had a few doozies, including, I think, the first coach in the last 20 years that has quoted the movie The Natural at some point. You know, he's a lot like you. He likes those 80s references.
We're kind of frozen in that time frame, I think.
Yeah, we asked him about Renfro. He's like, he's like The Natural. Clutch, savvy, Carr throws it to Renfro. The catch and curl. He said they asked him to get stronger during the offseason. He did. They told him, we don't want you to be a one-dimensional slot receiver. He's not. He also said, I think the dude is double jointed.
With all the moves. And we saw one on that tape that we showed. We ran the double move on Nick Needham. That ability to change direction so fluidly. A much better athlete than he ever gets credit for. He's a playmaker. And Darren Waller, we haven't heard from him in a while now. I wonder if they've got a chance to get him involved on this play.
Third down and 9 for the Raiders. Carr steps up. Carr, a fastball. Caught, Renfro. Touchdown, Raiders. This Vegas team has got something about them.
What did you say about double jointed? Did you notice that move? One of the more unconventional double, I would dare say triple moves by Hunter Renfrow. But he was aided by his quarterback and his ability to move in the pocket and create extra time for Renfrow to make those extra moves, and then a dart finds him for the touchdown.
Gruden said that Renfrow challenges him as a coach. The conversations they have are high-level football. Derek Carr said with Renfrow, I've seen him run the same route 1,000 different ways. The subtleties that he brings to it. He's a top tier. Sea of Hands play, 1974 AFC Divisional. Stabler to Clarence Davis, John Madden, and Al Davis. The memory of the godfather of the Raiders and his son Mark Davis making the move from Oakland to Las Vegas, and what a huge success it's been in such a short period of time. All right, CD Chop Talk, what do you got?
Well, we got Hunter Renfrow right here, and watch the variation of moves that you get from him. Watch the shoulder roll to freeze the defender to start. And then he gets outside, hitch, and now he cuts back inside. And Derek Carr does an excellent job of staying with him on the route, understanding it. Remember how he says that Hunter Renfrow is kind of like his nephew? That he comes over, calls his kid, and the kids call him Uncle Hunter? Mm-hmm. Well, you see that closeness, that friendship, that time together, and the trust John Gruden has in both of them.
Deep shot from Brissett, nobody home. Looking down the sideline for Devontae Parker. Targeted for just the third time today. Just not a lot happening on offense in general, specifically in the passing game. 79 yards through the air for the Dolphins.
I would think at some point, and probably sooner rather than later, can you scheme something up, block it up, and take a shot with Will Fuller? Try and create some speed, try and create a big play downfield, and give him an opportunity.
Dolphins came in second to last in total offense for the first 2 weeks. Darts one to Waddle. And it was sniffed out smartly by Nate Hobbs. 2-yard pickup through the air.
That's why he won the job in preseason, a 5th-round pick out of the University of Illinois. Nevin Lawson, who they recently released, they thought they'd have to wait 2 games, get him back from a suspension, and plug him in that nickel spot. Hobbs has taken it right from the beginning. It's not been too big for him this stage. And what did Casey Hayward tell us he liked most about him? He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and tackle.
No, he's physical. There's no doubt about it. He brings a toughness to the position. 3rd down and 8. Dime package for the Raiders. 6:28 and counting left in the 3rd quarter. Brissett. Strong throw, and he comes up short of the 1st down with a flag thrown. It's once again Waddle.
Multiple flags, too, and I wonder if it's on the tackle there by Abram, the way that it swung around. They flip-flopped assignments with the safeties. Merrick dropped up. Abram dropped, was deep, and Merrick came down in the box, and then Abram came up and made a play.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52, defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic. 1st down.
Denzel Perriman, and that was a short completion, short of the 1st down.
There it is the helmet, right to the helmet on the tackle. I had thought that was Abram who had popped up. It was Merrick. They had swapped responsibilities. Merrick from free safety to strong. He was there first, and then Perriman, helmet to helmet on the tackle, created the penalty. Good call by the officials.
Costly one for Las Vegas. Miami has a 1st down out near midfield, trailing 19-14. Brissett now 88 yards through the air. Looking, knocked away. Try to squeeze it in there to Gaskin.
They just missed a big shot down the middle. I know it's easy from up here in the box, and it's a lot harder for Jacoby Brissett, but Mike Gesicki had Denzel Perriman trying to shadow him inside, right up the middle of the field. Big-time shot, big-time opportunity. Gesicki actually threw his hand up. You see him skipping to the sideline, wanting the football on that play.
Gesicki was a quarterback at 8th and 9th grade. He got moved to wide receiver. Basketball was really his main sport, then eventually a tight end at Penn State, and a highly successful one. 2nd down and 10. Motion man is Waddle. Ground game. Gaskin, they push the pile into Raiders territory for a gain of 3. Jonathan Hankins among those there defensively for Las Vegas.
Raiders getting some fresh pass rushers on the field. Max Crosby's going to be there. This game's not been short of big time hits on this ball game. Gaskin's working inside. Cleveland furl. And look at the pile being pushed. Michael Dieter, number 63, screening to get extra yardage.
3rd and 7. 5 defensive backs for the Raiders. Deep drop. Brissett steps up. Brissett in some trouble. Avoids it. Buys time. Brissett floats it. Incomplete. Gesicki with Mullen. There is a flag down back in the pocket.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. That penalty is declined. Result of the play. 4th down.
It's Robert Hunt, and it's irrelevant.
His big-time pass rush pressure, and eventually, if it stays up like that, you end up grabbing people right in front of you. 68 white grabbing number 92, Solomon Thomas in black. But how about the effort downfield? The battle downfield with Mullen and Gesicki trying to come up with the football. Mullen ultimately winning it.
This Miami team has had more different starting offensive linemen in the last 10 seasons than any other team in the NFL. 46. Polardi kicking to Renfro. Angle towards the sideline. Fair catch called for at the 16. That's what Equalizer. It premieres Sunday, October 10th on CBS. Party-like atmosphere here at Allegiant Stadium. Raiders in front, 19-14. Hop, step, and a run. Peyton Barber dishing out some punishment as he hits the 35-yard line for Vegas. 19 yards going right up the gut.
And watch what you're getting here. Watch the push that you're getting. All these guys right up front to create the space. Look at Illuminor come over. Look at Leatherwood staying with it and rode Ogba all the way down in the hole. And a nice read by Peyton Barber, number 31, to play off the backside block by number 70, Alex Leatherwood.
Only 2 of the 7 teams to start the season 2-0 were playoff teams last season, Tampa Bay and the Rams. Do it again. This time Miami prepared for it as Peyton Barber gets whistled down after a gain of 2.5. Raiders are rolling a little bit now on offense. Last 3 possessions, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. And when we asked, what's the difference? 2-0 last year, 2-0 this year. Gruden, Carr, anybody you asked, and they said there's just a little something different chemistry-wise, and the way this team is working together. Complementary football. 2nd down and 7. Carr in a crowded pocket, dumps it off. Barber, catch and run. Out of bounds, just inside the 40 of Miami. 23 yards for the Raiders.
Watch the calmness of Derek Carr in the pocket. He's not just totally locked in on Barber. He takes a quick glance downfield to see what he has, but knows that he has that little check down, that little dump off, and gets it to Barber, who turns it into a nice gain.
Carr has picked it up, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Barber now with 12 carries, 60 yards, and then another 28 on the receiving end. First down run to Barber. Peyton Barber with a flag thrown behind him back at the 41-yard line. Looks like a hold.
Holding. Number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 1st down.
It negates a 12-yard run, and it's John Simpson.
And was it, you know, when you go back and watch tape after a game and it gets graded, obviously Simpson's going to get dinged for the hold, but you know who's going to get a really good score on that one is Derek Carr. He orchestrated that one totally. He got to the line of scrimmage, saw the look of it with the Dolphins, got him into that running play, and it broke big.
Well, Carr's been to the Pro Bowl 3 times. He's in his 8th year in the NFL. It just feels like he's in command.
It's like it's all come together for him,
yes.
And he's playing with extreme confidence.
First down and 20, deep drop. Carr, deep shot, broken up. Trying to hit Brian Edwards. And snuffed out by Nick Needham for the Dolphins.
I'll reiterate what I said in the first half. He's the third best cover guy on this team, and that's saying something because Xavier Howard and Byron Jones are on that team, and both of them are Pro Bowl players. It's a tremendous job by Nick Needham. I know the fans are thinking, he got in there early. He played the football, played up through the body of the receiver, and if you have an eye on the ball, the officials are going to give you more leeway playing against the receiver.
Obviously, we know about the Josh Jacobs injury. They're also down Jalen Richard, who's on IR with a foot injury, eligible to return after this week. Carr out of the pocket, dumps it off. Kenyon Drake makes a man miss. And Drake is wrestled along the sideline, just short of the 40-yard line, so 7 yards on that catch and run for Kenyon Drake, formerly with Miami, then a stint with Arizona, and now first year of a 2-year deal with Las Vegas.
There's Brian Flores, who's done a magnificent job getting this Dolphins team to within 1 game of the playoffs last year. And how about the way they bounced back after getting beat last week, 35-0 against Buffalo, and have been tough from the word go here today.
Big play for Miami defensively, trying to put a stop to this Vegas momentum. Carr, strong throw, terrific grab. It's Darren Waller. Quite a connection. Carr to Waller for 23 yards.
Well, they showed pressure, and then they got out of it and dropped back in the zone. And right there, Nick Needham got caught in no man's land behind Waller. Watch number 40 in white. He's playing the football instead of coming through the body of Waller to try and knock the ball free. That was a tough one because Needham thought it might be overthrown and he could make a play on the ball. Instead, Waller snatched it for a monster first down.
1st and 10 at the 19 of Miami. We are under a minute to go on the 3rd.
What is it?
Running play, Drake. Second effort from Drake to squeeze out 2 yards on the play.
And you know what we saw last week in Pittsburgh with this Raiders offense? We saw John Gruden adjusting to what the defense was doing and what he knew he could do offensively, meaning I can't run it against that front. Right? Cameron Hayward was just creating rubble up there. Today, he feels like after the slow start, they can run the ball more. What we're seeing today is much more of a John Gruden-style offense than what we saw in Pittsburgh, but he will adapt game to game for whatever will work.
4th straight long drive for the Raiders. And it could be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Carr to throw it, sells the fake, and then tosses it at the feet of Hunter Renfrow as time runs out here in the 3rd.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Raiders trail this one 14-0. Now they lead it 19-14. We go to the 4th, the NFL. The Dolphins and the Raiders. Raiders lead the all-time series, including playoffs, with a mark of 20-19-1. And they lead this game to start the 4th, 19-14. Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew. 3rd and 8 for Carr and the Raiders. Soft toss, catch made, extension by Drake. Kenyon Drake did not get there. Just short.
So Darren Waller is always a threat. Plays a big threat without the ball as well because he ran a clear-out route on the opposite side. And the Raiders decided to use Kenyon Drake not as a runner, but as a pure pass catcher. Split him out like he was a receiver, became a slot guy out to the wide side, and cuts back inside for a nice catch and almost got to the goal line.
Raiders fans believe it's a touchdown. They just showed it on the big screen here at Allegiant.
John Gruden talking about it as well.
Yeah, the question was whether or not he was down on the play, obviously, at the 1.
Second charge, timeout, Las Vegas. A 30-second timeout.
So they are possibly going to look at this one. I think the Raiders are contemplating.
Thus the timeout. And his back is going down, but is the ball breaking the plane at the same time he's hitting?
He somehow stays upright.
Yes. Now, if I'm John Gruden's guy upstairs, I'm telling him not to protest this one.
Take your shot at the 1.
I'm taking my shot at the 1 here. I don't think you're going to get this one. I think you're going to get he's down, and it's going to be inconclusive that he broke the plane.
And that's the debate along the sideline. John was holding the red flag.
Now, the flip side, Ian, is if you took the time out to look at it, you might as well throw it. I mean, you took the time out. Now, the problem is if you don't get it, now you're out.
But the reality is if you just tossed the flag right away, you would have lost the timeout anyway.
Right. So, here we are.
Well, they're huddling up, and the Raiders are going to try to drive this thing in the old-fashioned way.
Remember last time they were down here, they scored on a pass with Ingold when they showed a heavy run formation. Here, don't be surprised if Derek Carr sneaks it. He's been good at that so far in this young season.
First and goal. Motion man Waller. Ingold, first man through, and he's denied.
Carr has gotten a few first downs on 4th and shorts out in the field. John Gruden not risking him there using Ingold. If you come back and run it now, I'd use Ingold as the lead blocker. That's what he does best. Let him get some momentum going and hand it off to the trail back, which would be Barber if you're going to go power set again.
Sealer and Butler both in there. He ran into Colton Miller on the play. Second and goal. Peyton Barber, airborne, touchdown, Las Vegas. Peyton Barber, 5'11", goes upstairs for the score. The Dolphins claim that they had the football, that he lost it. It was slapped out of there.
It was popped out, but had it already broken the plane. Looks like Holland, 8, slaps it out. And that's what the Dolphins will be protesting.
Well, all scoring plays are reviewed. It certainly looked like he broke the plane as he went over the pile. The rainbow there.
Yeah.
Lost it.
Remember it was called touchdown? So you had the burden of proof is, did they slap it out before it got to the goal line? It looks like it's a touchdown.
11 plays, 84 yards, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Extra point from Carlson. Derek Carr. Extra point is no good. He missed it. Derek Carr is now over 300 yards passing, 301. So that's 5 straight games for Carr over 300.
Briefly look in 5 minutes. And by McDonald's.
Las Vegas with the lead. Charles, you were a multi-sport star in high school, so I know you're a basketball guy too. This would be a 25-0 run for the Raiders.
Wow. Haven't seen the timeout yet to stop it, right? The coach calling the timeout.
Got a 20?
Give me a 20. Make it a full.
Saturday, the SEC on CBS features an outstanding top 20 matchup. 12th ranked Ole Miss, #1, Alabama. The day begins with the drive to Atlanta, 2:30 Eastern, followed by college football today, leading up to kickoff at 3:30 Saturday afternoon. The SEC is on CBS. A lot of wide receivers from Alabama, a lot of players in general in the NFL from Alabama, but 2 here in particular with Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs.
Shows the adjustment Alabama made to the game and how the game is played. Used to be all runners for Alabama.
Play action, Brissett, incomplete. Will Fuller, the intended receiver. Passing game has not been working. Hayward there defensively. NFL Today update. Let's go to Phil Simms.
All right, thank you, Ian. How about this? Matt Stafford throws his 4th touchdown a day to Cooper Kupp. It's a 10-yard touchdown. It puts the Los Angeles Rams 28, Tampa Bay 14. Back to Ian, Charles, and Evan.
And Phil, sometimes you just get the perfect marriage in the NFL. That Stafford-McVay connection. That has a chance to be really special. Gaskin leans in for a 5-yard pickup. All right, you're Miami. You haven't been able to get your offense going for the most part today. What do you need to see at this stage for the Dolphins to not just stay in this game, but now to come back?
You've got to be able to be super efficient and crisp with your throwing game in terms of that ball can't hit the ground anymore. You can't have any incompletions. Because I don't think they're going to just let Jacoby Brissett stand back there with this pass rush of the Raiders. They got to protect him a little bit. So make sure that ball's out of his hands. So when you're a receiver, what can you get down the field after the catch?
They have only 31 yards in the second half. Big conversion there to Gesicki.
See, those types of passes are still in play, Ian. You know, a lot of people are looking at it now, 12:50 to go. Hey, you got to push it downfield. Yes, but be smart about it. This pass rush is very good for the Raiders. Offensive lines had issues for the Dolphins. You don't want to just stand back there on 5- and 7-step drops and let Jacoby Brissett absorb all of that.
Change was made. Jesse Davis moving over to left guard, replacing Solomon Kinley. Liam Eichenberg, the rookie out of Notre Dame, starting at right tackle for Miami. First down. And he powers it in there on a low throw, but handled by Jalen Waddle, the 6th pick. Overall, won a national championship with Alabama. That covers 9 yards.
And the back-to-back good catches by the receivers to help out their quarterbacks. Help out the quarterback. Ball's not perfectly placed, but they went down and got it both times.
Second down and 1 now with 12 minutes to play. Brissett gets rid of it quickly. Catch made. Gaskin is wrapped up by Corey Littleton out along the perimeter. 3-yard gain through the air.
I think this is a good job by the Miami offensive staff of not panicking in terms of play calling. You know, not going back there and just saying we're going to fling it. There's Tua on the sideline trying to help out his teammates. But give Jacoby Brissett a chance, and you've noted it already. Getting the ball out of his hands quickly, receivers making plays.
Running play. That hole closed up quickly as he works his way into Raiders territory. 3-yard pickup. And it's Littleton laying the lumber.
Brought shoulder, tried to keep his head out of it. That's called one of those how do you do shots there by Corey Littleton.
Double.
Second down and 7. Handle the rush. Brissett will run. Open space. Slides down as he just crosses the 30-yard line. Jacoby Brissett, 6 years in the NFL. Big guy. And showing off the agility.
And look at the vision he's got. Able to see it. He even sensed Ngakoue running behind him and made a move to get away from him as well. But Ngakoue flushed so quickly coming upfield. Austin Jackson just rode him past, and Brissett went up.
Fake it. And Brissett will angle out of bounds. He got pushed right at the end of the play. Raiders indicating that, hey, we were over there before he stepped out.
Officials were right on the spot. No one pulled a flag either. As he gets the sideline, Littleton trying to pull off of it. I think he tripped much more than anything else. It wasn't a violent collision on the sideline.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. We'll hit the 10-minute mark of the 4th.
Excellent drive so far. I think they'll try and continue with the formula. Ball quickly to a receiver.
Brissett will check it down. Catch by Fuller. And brought down from behind by Nate Hobbs out in space. 2-yard pickup for Miami.
And you just brought up basketball. They essentially tried to run a slip screen on that one, meaning, you know, in basketball, you set the screen, and sometimes you slip and just go past and get a layup. That's what they did with Gesicki right there, trying to catch him napping. They were back deep. They threw it to the guy short in the flat.
Looked like a left arm issue for Hobbs as he made his way towards the Las Vegas sideline. Got a 9:20 remaining in the 4th. This is a 3rd and 4 for Miami. Brissett steps up and gets walloped. At the 28, Jonathan Hankins and Quentin Jefferson.
This is what they did not want to expose him to with deeper drops and deeper routes. The longer you hold it, here comes that pass rush. Up the middle, off the edge. And now you're trying to find someone. Waddle running across field. Amik Robertson running with him. Trayvon Mullen Jr. with Devontae Parker plastered to him. Here comes Jason Sanders.
Yeah, they just made it a more difficult field goal attempt after the loss on the sack. This is 46 yards away. Sanders drives it. And Sanders curves it through. Remember that missed extra point by Carlson, so this is an 8-point game with 8.5 remaining. Miami 17, 8.5 to go in this fourth quarter. And Miami will kick it off with Jason Sanders. After the 46-yard field goal, deep man is Peyton Barber standing at the goal line for the Raiders. Over his head, touchback. Las Vegas from the 25-yard line. Inside the NFL is now streaming. The hardest hitting team of analysts in football provide expert insight, exclusive commentary you won't find anywhere else. Stream new episodes Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern, exclusively on Paramount+. Derek Carr, that's 5 straight 300-yard games, second longest streak in team history behind just one man, our buddy Rich Gannon, 6 in a row. MVP season for Gannon in 2002. Last time this team started 3-0. Give is to Barber. They've certainly loosened things up front against this Miami defense. 4-yard pickup. And now we're seeing touchdowns. And we're seeing them from different Raiders.
Yeah, it just keeps popping up as John Gruden talked about how he's enjoyed the contribution. Ingold, Renfro, Barber. Last 3 drives, 3 different guys with the payoff. Biggest defensive series of the game for these Miami Dolphins. As you see the clock under 8 minutes, the last drive for the Raiders took 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Dolphins have to force the issue a lot quicker than that.
Raiders come in, ranked number 1 in offense through the first 2 weeks. Barber walks the tightrope, and he is out of bounds. Jerome Baker over there defensively. Yeah, there's something interesting, Charles. This is not something you normally see in the NFL. There's no marker on the other side with the first down stick. It's just the stick. Normally you have the marker as a player that shows you where you need to get to.
Well, they did have a big opening night. You know, there's probably a lot of confusion after opening night. Maybe the marker didn't make it here for this.
We might have to put out an investigation. Where's the marker? Who took the marker?
Does it go under the line of who took Tom Brady's jersey after the Super Bowl?
Third down and 3. Carr comfortable in the pocket, and that one's denied. Edwards, the intended target, and X marks the spot. Xavier Howard comes up with a big play for the Dolphins.
Haven't talked about him much in this game. You know why? People tend to avoid him. He is a playmaker in the corner position. Look at him take his big body and go across the front of Bryan Edwards, another big body receiver, and make an excellent play for the Dolphins. So they shut down that drive when they absolutely had to have it. Big credit to the Dolphins defense of Josh Boyer.
So A.J. Cole on. Miami's defense gets it done, gets the Raiders off the field. Return man is Grant. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A 44-yard kick. 6-yard return. Miami is down by 8 with 6:59 to go. Fourth quarter from Los
Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Verizon. 5G built right. And by KFC. Order on KFC.com or through the app.
Dolphins very much alive here. They trail 25-17, just under 7 minutes to go. Brissett takes a look downfield, checks it down to Gaskin. Little something extra at the end of the play with Jonathan Abram. And it's a 3-yard pickup on first down.
You know how often I've talked about the pass rush of the Raiders in this game. I think this game may go Ian a little bit more out, a little bit more out here to the perimeters. Because I think what's going to happen is Jacoby Brissett's going to continue to get the ball out of his hands quickly. So these corners, Hayward, Mullen, Abram, Merrick in the secondary, their ability to tackle in space and not give up a big play will be key.
Brissett is 20 of 29, but just 112 yards through the air. Fake the handoff. Brissett keeps the play going with a low throw. Jalen Waddle goes downstairs, and it's incomplete. That ball hit the ground.
And Gus Bradley surprised everyone with a little blitz off of the edge. Normally, he doesn't blitz a heck of a lot. He picks his spots, and he did there. And Brissett did a nice job evading that and throwing it downfield. But I think the pressure did force The inaccuracy in the throw.
Charles, it was a combination of Abram and Littleton that put the heat on Brissett. And now Miami faces a 3rd and 7. Nickel package here for the Raiders. And Brissett to throw it. Brissett works around, looks downfield, dials up a deep run. Incomplete, he skies it over Parker with a flag thrown back at the 26-yard line.
And the Raiders, I think, just bailed out the Dolphins with a hit on Jacoby Brissett at the end of the play.
Max Crosby trying to get to the QB.
Happened right in front of Trey Blake, the umpire.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 98, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Absolutely an excellent call. I know it was a long run for Max Crosby, and at the end he wants to finish it off. That's the play that he'll learn with experience. That's a hit you don't need to take at that point. That play's done. Your defense is just won, and you've given the Dolphins extra life.
So it's going to set Miami up with a first down. The drive would have been over. It would have been 4th down and punt time for Miami. Instead, first down at the 48. That's 6 penalties costing the Raiders 73 yards. Brissett tosses underneath. Catch is made by Gesicki for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the lean.
And to get the sense that both sides, patience is the watchword. Miami, don't get too crazy with the deep drops and trying to throw deep routes because that gets Brissett sacked. And the Raiders, not a lot of blitzes, keep it in front. Make good tackles and hope that they make a mistake. Just don't give up anything deep.
2nd down and 5. Running play, Gaskin. Didn't go down on first contact. Needed 5. Looks like he gained 4. Hankins among those there defensively for the Raiders. We mentioned the dual offensive coordinators with Gotze and Studesville. And when we asked Brian Flores about it, he said, I like the continuity of our guys hearing both voices throughout the week. They work well together.
And they were coming back on his staff. Same guys they'd already heard before.
12 men on the field for Las Vegas, so they had to call a timeout.
Las Vegas, a 30-second timeout.
Miami would have gotten a gift first down on 3rd and 1, and that's it for the Raiders. They are done with timeouts. Next Sunday, NFL on CBS doubleheader, early slate highlighted by a battle in the city of brotherly love. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on the road against the Eagles. Then a battle between 2 legendary franchises. Big Ben and the Steelers head to Lambeau to meet Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It all kicks off at noon Eastern. NFL Today, doubleheader action next Sunday on CBS. So the Raiders forced to use that timeout because they had an extra man on the field. 3rd down and 1 for Miami. Malcolm Brown is in there. Give it to Brown. Hard cut. And now the question will be the spot. Miami felt forward progress, got him there, but boy, on the first look, it looks short.
He had nowhere to go inside where he wanted to go. Bounced it outside, and a good adjustment by the Raiders to make this one close. I thought when he bounced it, he'd get it easily.
Yeah.
But this is now worth the measurement. See, watch the middle. It's totally stacked up. And the Raiders won the line of scrimmage, and then they rallied and got to him. Here we go, sneak.
And they have to go for it. Jacoby Brissett. Did he get it?
I think the push got it there. 235 listed before breakfast. I think as Evan Washburn told us, the yoga made him flexible enough to find his way to a first down.
Raiders think they stopped him.
That was close. I thought the second push got him there.
Miami is pointing first down, and now it's up to the officials to determine it. First push, no.
Yeah, it never moves, that line of scrimmage. I thought he was able to burrow his way in there.
And that's
going to be some spot, isn't it?
That far official came running over right along the plane of where Miami needed to get to. They extend it. Oh my. Las Vegas takes over. A fourth down stop on a quarterback sneak, and the Raiders with the lead and the football, 4:29 left.
Back-to-back big-time plays, nowhere to go in the interior. The guys in black win the line of scrimmage.
Hey, tight fan.
So the Raiders take over with a 25-17 lead, 4:29 to play in the fourth quarter. On the ground, nothing there. Barber tried to cut it, and Christian Wilkins was ready for it. Coming up, time permitting, State Farm postgame show. Guys back in the studio, latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the State Farm postgame show. Remember, Raiders did have 12 men on the field, and they called a timeout, which would have given Miami a first down. Dolphins had to go for it on fourth down. That was on third down. And they're now 0 of 5 on fourth down tries this season.
Essentially couldn't get about a half a yard on third or fourth down. And now the Raiders, remember last week in Pittsburgh, they trusted Derek Carr to throw the ball.
They did.
Because right now you're running into a stacked box.
They'll run it again. Nothing doing for Las Vegas with Peyton Barber. John Jenkins among those there, and a timeout call. And you could ask the question, why wouldn't Miami just challenge a spot? At least just take a flyer. There was such a stockpile there.
First charge timeout, Miami, a 30-second timeout. Please set the game clock to 3:44.
You got it, Carl. There's no way they would have won the challenge.
How could anyone have been able to tell? Everything would have been inconclusive. You would have had to stay with the call on the field, I believe. Right? I mean, you saw that massive humanity.
Yeah.
How would you be able to determine, even on replay, how that would have changed? Now, here on third down, how many timeouts left for Miami?
Two.
So third down, if they're able to stop here, they're going to call another timeout. Does John Gruden want to go ahead and do this and play to his defense, punt it deep in territory? Or as he did in Pittsburgh last week, put in Derek Carr's hands and let him make a good decision?
Well, last week, Gruden elected to pass in these situations. He gave Derek Carr a shot. In fact, he threw for a touchdown. 3rd and 11. Carr, rush coming. Carr is tossed down. Brandon Jones on the safety blitz.
So they were trying to beat the man coverage with a double move with Hunter Renfrow, and Josh Boyer guessed ahead and brought the pressure to force the issue. There's Brandon Jones, the strong safety, gets in there again and gets him. Loss of 15. So that field position that the Las Vegas Raiders had that was in their favor is now backed up, and Miami may tilt the field a little bit as they start a big-time drive.
3:39 left. Miami's going to get the football back. A.J. Cole will punt it. Dolphins use one of their 2 remaining timeouts to stop the clock. Jakeem Grant is the return man standing at the 20-yard line. Grant dealt with an ankle injury throughout the week. Just a little bit of a rush. Cole hangs this one deep. Caught inside the 10 by Grant. Makes his move. Trying to get all the way to the outside with a circle. Grant does have big-time speed, but the Raiders are all over it. And he's ridden out of bounds by Moreau. 69-yard punt and a 12-yard return with 3:22 to play in regulation.
That was tremendous coverage because he almost got to the edge as you described, and if he does with that speed, it's a big return for the Miami Dolphins.
State Farm postgame show coming up, time permitting. Back in the studio for scores and highlights on the State Farm postgame show. So Jacoby Brissett getting his first start as a Dolphin for the injured Tua Tagovailoa. Pass underneath, catch made by Waddle, and he curls upfield close to the 30-yard line. They're going to mark him down, though, short of a first down. 9-yard gain through the air. We count it down to 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth.
There better be some really sure tackling in the secondary. Guys like Waddle, Fuller, Jakeem Grant can make you miss in the open field and create big plays.
Brissett fires it and has the connection with Gesicki. First down, Miami. 6-yard pickup. 2:42 and counting left in the fourth. 8-point lead for Las Vegas. Brissett from the gun. Out of the pocket, throws on the move, and feeds Gesicki once again. Out of bounds with 2.5 to go.
It's a good job by Gesicki, understanding his quarterback was in trouble and working his way into his sight line in an open space for a place for Brissett to dump the football.
We asked Gesicki about Brissett. He said he's experienced. You can feel his leadership this week, just how he carries himself, how he interacts with his teammates. Can he rally the Dolphins here in the fourth? Raiders 25, Miami 17, 2.5 to go. 2nd and 3. Brissett has time. Looks downfield. Brissett will toss it out of bounds. Some pressure from Phylon. And it's 3rd and 3.
Got to give the gold star there to the secondary of the Raiders, because the pass protection was good by the Miami Dolphins. They brought over Malcolm Brown to help Leon Eichenberg, the right tackle, with Max Crosby to create extra time, but there was no one available playing time to throw that football.
Nickel package here for the Raiders. 3rd and 3 for Miami at the 40. Brissett tosses, didn't have enough on it as he tries to hit Gaskin in the flat, and it's 4th and 3 for the Dolphins.
Oh, and I think that was a golden missed opportunity and a big-time pick by Devontae Parker. Not called there because your receiver's supposed to run through the route, not step up and establish and bump off a defender. Parker gets away with it. They create the screen, and if Gaskins catches that one on the move, he might still be running.
4th down and 3. A Miami team that has been unable to generate consistent offense this season. Flags down, Raiders pointing to the Miami side.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And it's Austin Jackson for an offensive line that has actually had a solid enough day.
Right there was it. It wasn't up here where they were pointing. Eichenberg, he wasn't even established in his stance yet. It was Jackson who was established and then jumped back to bring up this long 4th down.
Yep. It's 4th and 8. 2:18 to go. Brissett steps, hooks a pass, fight for it, it's caught. Terrific grab by Parker in a matchup with Hayward, and Miami is still alive.
And Jacoby Brissett ripped that throw as well, because if he has any less on it on the RPMs, that ball's knocked away. What a beautiful throw and catch.
And we hit 2 minutes to play. Las Vegas trying to hold on. Miami looking to come back. Miami Dolphins on the road here at Allegiant Stadium. They trail 25-17. We have 2 minutes to play. A first down for Miami. Brissett tosses it to Waddle and picks up 4 yards. Dolphins do have 1 timeout remaining. We're down to 1:50 to go.
Will Fuller's already at the top.
Brissett will throw it in that area to Gesicki. He's got outstanding hands.
And white lights were on for Mike Gesicki. Great catch out in the flat after Fuller cleared it with a route downfield.
1:38 to go. First down for the Dolphins. Brissett sits and throws and hooks up with Gesicki again. Clock is rolling, 1:26 left.
The patience and efficiency we've seen out of Miami these last few drives has been very impressive.
Remember, the missed extra point has left the door open here for Miami. 2nd and 1. Brissett, home run ball! Incomplete with a flag down. Merrig thought he had it, and a collision.
Have interference there. We should have 1st and goal at the 1.
2 flags on the play.
If that was determined in the end zone on the interference.
Pass interference, number 27, defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The result of play enforcement will be the ball at the 1-yard line. 1st down.
So Mullen is called on the interference there.
See him grab him, and then Merrick trying to make the play over the top. That's where he ended up getting hurt, trying to come down with the football.
Mac Hollins, the intended receiver, the former Philadelphia Eagle.
And the guy, one of the heroes of the win last year for Miami here in Las Vegas. He caught that pass from Fitzpatrick late in the ball game to set up the game-winning field goal.
And the concern is for both Trayvons, Mullen and Merrick. Huge penalty, 26 yards.
Correctly officiated. Mullen was all over him going into the end zone. And that flag had to come out. And well done there by Matt Edwards, the back judge.
Las Vegas is charged with a 4th excess timeout due to the injury.
So Merrick is walking off on his own, but Mullen is still on one knee. This is a Raiders team that has been hit hard by injuries through the first 3 weeks. And the ball is going to be spotted at the 1.
So the backups, if you go with both defensive backs, although I don't know if you do in this situation, Damon Arnett and Amik Robertson, I think, will get first call out on the corners. That might be a bigger situation if those two can't come back, Ian, if indeed Miami scores as a 2-point conversion play.
So it is Arnett who goes out there for Las Vegas. This is a 1st and goal for Miami. Raiders had a chance to put this game away. A couple of first downs would have forced Miami into a corner with probably too little time to come back. And they're going Wildcat. Direct snap. Swallowed up, Malcolm Brown. The Dolphins get cute. The Raiders are ready for it. A loss of 1, sniffed out by Hankins.
Good poise by this Raiders defense. Didn't get flustered by it at all. But Brissett split out wide and the motion in the backfield. I watched them practice Friday, and they were prepared for it. There was a nice dose of Wildcat plays in their practice session.
This is where they needed Ronnie Brown. Instead, it's Malcolm Brown. They'll try it again. Brown hit hard. He got stamped at the 1 by Perriman. It'll be 3rd and goal for Miami. 29 seconds left.
Miami, a 30-second timeout.
Perriman shoots the hole first. He's also there. Looked like 37, Tyree Gillespie, the rookie safety out of Missouri, coming in, and that's what he's known for, his ability to tackle in the center field range, and he comes up just like a linebacker and helps lower the boom as well.
You know, it's interesting. You think back to last year, Indianapolis, in these situations, who did they often use? Jacoby Brissett. He would replace Phillip Rivers, but Brissett found himself on the sideline for the first 2 downs.
Yeah, they had him split out wide, and just so there's a threat.
Yep.
That maybe they do something out there. I think you put the ball back in Brissett's hands here. In this situation, get out of the Wildcat and let your quarterback run this game.
3rd and goal. Miami down by 8. Gesicki could be an option here.
And Parker's also a jump ball guy, number 11 in white.
Fake it. Brissett trying to run. Spin. Denied. Clock is rolling. We're down to 22 seconds left. Perriman helped save the touchdown. It's 4th and goal for Miami. 15 seconds to play. One last gasp for the Dolphins. 8 seconds. Rush coming. Brissett steps up. Brissett, the fake, and he's in! Touchdown, Miami! What an effort, Jacoby Brissett. Wow!
I think he wanted to look left to Devontae Parker in a one-on-one. He was covered. And then he makes in the open field, looks like Perriman. He made miss and then finds his way through. Watch, he looked left, doesn't have it. And watch the cut back inside. That's where Perriman missed. And he knew where the goal line was and dove and got it.
And here we go. A 2-point try for the tie.
118.
Brissett, fake the handoff, throws it, complete! They've got it to Fuller! Remarkable come from behind effort. We are knotted up at 25 apiece. 2 seconds left.
Love the action. They showed the flow out to the right. Brissett with the full spin pirouette and turns into a one-on-one route on the backside. And they picked on Damon Arnett, who had a little bit of a struggle up in Pittsburgh with a deep ball with Chase Claypool. They go back again. Remember the injuries we had, Ian. You lost starting corners Trayvon Mullen, who probably would have been out there in that spot, had an opportunity. Casey Hayward has been dinged a little bit. He came back and played.
And a missed extra point from Daniel Carlson, the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Left that door open for the Dolphins to tie this game, 25 apiece.
How about those drives by Miami late in the game with Jacoby Brissett? They'd struggled for much of it, found their way, and boy, did he lead them.
Kick from Sanders. Touchback. 2 seconds to go. The Las Vegas Raiders were a play away from a 3-0 start for the first time since 2002. As the Raiders were building that momentum, this one just completely blindsided everybody. Carlson has been automatic.
And all he's hoping now is that he has an opportunity to redeem himself and his team in overtime.
And we have bonus football in Vegas. Overtime is next. Raiders, for the second time in 3 weeks, are playing an extra period. So we'll keep it right here with this game tied at 25. Jacoby Brissett did a superb job on that final drive for Miami to navigate them down the field and into the end zone on what was just an effort play and a just tremendous fake on Denzel Perriman to get himself into the end zone to set themselves up for a 2-point try.
We've seen why so many teams like Jacoby Brissett and why he keeps talking about, I consider myself a starter in this league, even if I'm
Gentlemen, we're about to begin an overtime period of up to 10 minutes. Each team gets 2 timeouts. It is sudden death unless the first possession ends in a field goal, at which time the other team will have an opportunity to possess. Any challenges will be handled by initiated by the replay official up in the booth. Miami, you get to call the toss. This is heads, this is tails. He calls heads. It is tails. Las Vegas has won the toss and will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
So the Raiders win the toss. They will have the football. Overtime is next at Allegiant Stadium. Period, touchdown or safety on the first possession wins the game. If the score is tied after each team's first possession, then the next score wins it. Each team is given 2 timeouts, no coaches' challenges. All reviews are initiated by a replay official. Miami to kick off. Overtime in Vegas. And And the Raiders will have it at the 25-yard line. Also, that Max Crosby roughing the passer penalty, that kept the drive alive for Miami.
Kept the drive alive, and I mean, so many different things and many opportunities. And even on offense, when they took over the football on a drive with previously they'd gone 6:05, they went a minute 31. Miami shut them down. Opportunities missed, but give Miami credit for stepping through the door and seizing them.
Raiders in the opener won the game in overtime over Baltimore in dramatic fashion. Peyton Barber with a little zigzag move for 6. Brought down by Xavier Howard for the Dolphins. John Gruden's squad is 2-0. Impressive victories against Baltimore and in Pittsburgh to open the season.
52.
2nd and 4. Carr tosses it. Handled by Ruggs. Along the perimeter for a first down.
Just a tremendous catch. Let's see if both feet come down in bounds. 1. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Let's take another look.
It looked like 2. Boom, boom, right there.
There it is. There it is. All right, I missed that first toe tap. But typically on that type of a route, that ball's thrown a little bit quicker so that you have a little more time to fade in. But Derek Carr had a little bit of heat, had to get rid of it the way he did. What a great catch by Ruggs.
So first down for the Raiders out across the 45-yard line.
Bruce Springsteen, Boston! Boston! Here we go, here we go, here we go!
So we've got Springsteen and Boston on this play.
That's why it didn't work.
No, the rock and roll did not work.
Springsteen's New Jersey.
It might have been Boston the band as well. Van Ginkel reads it, and it's no gain on the play.
Well, here comes Renfro back out on the field. We haven't heard from Waller much lately because of the coverage. A lot of times it's been Byron Jones. And look at that, 25 game-winning drives, 4th quarter overtime, and you already mentioned week 1 against Baltimore. In overtime, the touchdown pass to Zay Jones.
2nd and 10. Step up. Long ball, Carr. Got his man. Brian Edwards. And the Raiders are in business at the Miami 20.
And a quarterback who's known to move and have mobility might have run on that play because of the gap that opened. But Derek Carr moves to find guys open downfield and delivers. Kept it alive, saw Brian Edwards had the step, and perfectly placed it downfield.
And remember what Edwards did in the 4th quarter and overtime, week 1 against Baltimore. First down for the Raiders. Back to the ground. Barber is hit hard and whistled down after a gain of 1. Sealer combining with Scarlett to bring down Peyton Barber, now playing for his 3rd team in the NFL, previously with Tampa Bay and Washington.
And got John Gruden calling the plays in over his headset to Derek Carr. There's always a tag and a reminder in a play call. Any running play, you know he's telling them, make sure they hold on to the ball. We saw Kansas City with Clyde Edwards-Helaire lose an opportunity 2 weeks ago where the ball popped out late against the Baltimore Ravens.
2nd down and 9. Carr dials it up, looking for the win, over the head of Waller. Incomplete. Matched up with Byron Jones.
Looks like he ran a little bit of a wheel, fake to the outside, get upfield. I think Waller thought initially that that ball would be thrown more to the inside and upfield, and Carr took him to the outside, and the adjustment happened late. And you see Carr acknowledging that with Waller with a hand signal.
3rd down and 9 for Las Vegas. From the gun. Carr dials it up and tosses it out of bounds. Nearly hits a cheerleader in the process, and it's 4th down.
Renfro was working on about 5 moves on that play, trying to shake free. Good defense by the Dolphins, forcing the field goal. which means Miami gets another opportunity no matter what.
So the snapper will be Sieg. The punter, A.J. Cole, will hold it, and Daniel Carlson, who made a 50-yarder, will attempt one from 38 yards away. Carlson for the lead. Straight down the middle. And the Raiders go in front 28-25. That is 28 straight made field goals for Daniel Carlson. Miami will get the football with 6:27 to play in OT. Coming up tonight on CBS, it all begins with 60 Minutes and a news-making interview with embattled Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, followed by a new Big Brother. Then, the Tony Awards present Broadway's Back, live tonight on CBS.
It can't be as dramatic as what we have here. You know, I mean, this is the real stuff, real drama here.
Now, this has been good theater.
Oh, my goodness.
Miami got off to a terrific start. They take a 14-0 lead. And then a safety uncorks things as the Dolphins made a poor decision throwing the football out of their own end zone, in the end zone. And they get blasted there, and that started Las Vegas on a run.
I do think Las Vegas woke up on that one. You know, I really thought they started very slowly in this game.
Well, we've seen miscues on both sides. Grant, the return man, is not going to get a chance to touch it. And Miami will have the football at the 25-yard line. Just to get you caught up, pick six. Carr, Landon Roberts, who was injured on this field last year, to take it back all the way. This is the safety that I just mentioned. Missed a field goal. Sanders had a chance right off the post with a loud thud. And then the missed extra point from Carlson allowed Miami, down by 11, to kick a field goal, down by 8 to score a touchdown, and then convert on the two-pointer to tie the game and force overtime. They trail by 3. Brissett looking for the deep shot down the sideline. Incomplete. Will Fuller, the speedster, in a matchup with Mullen, who is out there for the Raiders.
And they got Trayvon Mullen back after the injury, and look at the job he does, pressing him into the sideline, keeping his body in front so he can't cut back underneath him and make the play. Mullen essentially turned himself into the receiver on that one, and Fuller would have had to play defensive back. Great use of the sideline, made him run out of space.
And Charles Merrick is out there as well. Second down and 10 for Miami. Brissett forced out of the pocket, on the move, tosses, working that sideline with a flag thrown. Adam Shaheen, penalty marker. Raiders indicating it's against Miami. Carl Sheffers will give us the particulars.
Holding, number 73, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
And it's the young tackle, Austin Jackson, in his second year from USC.
See him grabbing right there, right in front of you. Ends up snatching up number 92, Solomon Thomas, who is playing better and better each week. He may not have the same numbers he had in Pittsburgh, Ian, but Solomon Thomas is showing up for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That is 8 penalties against Miami. Second and 20. Brissett loses the football. He bounced it into the turf. And it's ruled incomplete. Max Crosby came through to put the hit on Jacoby Brissett.
And this one on time by Max Crosby. Look at him being double teamed by Austin Jackson, 73, and Malcolm Brown, 34. He bull rushes through the two of them and puts his body on Brissett and forces the incompletion. Technique, skill, and all-out effort.
And now it's third down and 20 for the Dolphins.
Thank you.
Timeout called by Las Vegas.
trying to get matched up on defense, and the officials were letting them match up, but they didn't feel right about it and called one of their timeouts in overtime.
Have to go back to 2002, the last time this franchise started 3-0. They went to the Super Bowl that year. They lost to John Gruden, who was the head coach of the Buccaneers.
Las Vegas.
The last time Gruden started a season 3-0, it was with the Buccaneers in 2005, and they finished that year 11-5. Now Denver has surprised everybody with a 3-0 start. Kansas City has surprised everybody with a 1-2 start. Dime package here for the Raiders. 3rd and 20. Brissett in the pocket. A rainbow. Brissett. Deep ball. Knocked away. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver. And Trayvon Mullen was a blanket.
And for all the attention, and rightly so, that Casey Hayward has gotten since he joined this Raiders team, Trayvon Mullen may be underrated as a corner, making the play downfield. Back-to-back plays on deep shots by Mullen. Going up and knocking it away from Devontae Parker, who knows how to play in the air and take the ball away from defensive backs.
And this is it for the Dolphins.
Timeout, Miami. A 30-second timeout.
So Miami uses the timeout. Play clock was winding down. They need 20 yards to keep this drive alive. Obviously need a field goal to extend the game, or a touchdown to win it.
And after that 3rd down breakup by Mullen, you know what I found most interesting? Derek Carr was deep down in the secondary on the field telling his guys to get back on defense and get refocused for the 4th down play. Coaching his team from the sidelines. Don't just celebrate that one. We've got a 4th down coming up. Devontae Parker is always a threat because of his body and his ability to go up and get it. Gesicki has worked well underneath, but now you've got to push those routes downfield because it's a 20-yard play.
4th down and 20 for Miami. Here's your ball game. Brissett steps up, avoids it, throws on the move. Brissett, oh, it's complete! Mike Gesicki with the hands. Down he goes after the play is over. 27 yards, and the Dolphins on life support are still in it.
He never quit running on the route, and Jacoby Brissett never gave up in the pocket. Pressured early, able to escape, and on the run, throws a laser shot to Mike Gesicki for a big-time 1st down.
4 down. That is the longest play on offense of the day for the Dolphins with 5:20 to go in OT. 28-25 Las Vegas. 1st down for the Dolphins at the 42. Brissett incomplete. He looked in the area of Gesicki. Hayward over there, and that would have been a game-ending interception if he secures it. We check in with Evan.
Guys, key injury for the Raiders. Trayvon Merrick's dealing with an ankle injury, questionable to return. He hasn't been out there the last couple plays.
So Merrick and Mullen, who both went down on the same exact play, with the Dolphins going for a touchdown in regulation. Both came back, but Merrick now dealing with that ankle injury.
And that's big because Merrick is much more of a center field type. His replacement, Tyree Gillespie, 37, more of a strong safety type.
2nd and 10. Underneath play, Jalen Waddle. And he picks up 3 yards, maybe 4, depending on the spot.
So to play off of Evans' report, what the Raiders will do when they play their cover 3 now, I think Jonathan Abram will switch and take up Merrick's role as more of the free safety, and Gillespie, the rookie, moves up more and takes Abrams' role as a strong safety. And Abram has had his struggles in pass coverage. That's not a matchup that the Raiders would like downfield.
Still need yardage to have a legitimate attempt at a field goal. 3rd and 7. Gaskin shifts to the backfield. They'll give it to him. Gaskin has some room. He's got a 1st down into Raiders territory. And hit from behind inside the 40 by Abram. A sneaky play, 15 yards.
Don't know if that was called from the bench or if Jacoby Brissett got him into it, but it worked perfectly. Used the momentum of the Raiders trying to get to the quarterback against them. Went against the grain. What a pickup for the Miami Dolphins.
Injured Raider on the play. It's the veteran Denzel Perriman manipulating that right foot. Well, he is moving it on his own and just trying to get feeling back, it appears.
See, as he breaks into the open field, and there's Perriman trying to get away from a block. Looked like he was engaged with Robert Hunt, and then Hunt falls on top of him for good measure.
And Perriman will jog off. So Nick Kwiatkowski will step in to replace Perriman. Meanwhile, the line of scrimmage is now the 40-yard line.
And Merrick has come back into the ballgame. There's Kwiatkowski in at linebacker. But going off of our report from our colleague Evan Washburn, Trayvon Merrick has gotten retaped and is back out on the field at safety.
We're going to hit the 4-minute mark in overtime. 28-25 Las Vegas. Fake the handoff. Looking for it all. Brissett delivers. Incomplete. Will Fuller, the intended target. And the Raiders hold up with Jonathan Abram.
And that's got to be a play for Abram. And look, he might have gotten there a tad early, but that's a slow motion, so it'd be bang, bang. I think it was a good no call, but look at him grabbing right there at the end. The Dolphins might want to talk about it later, but that's why you take your shot there. Jonathan Abram is a thumping, strong safety. His issues will be in the open field and coverage. And they took a play, and it was a nice call by the Dolphins to attack him.
And it's been a while since Will Fuller has been a part of an NFL game. And we talked to Brian Flores about how they were going to use Fuller. He said, no, we'll monitor it. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously great to have him back because of his pure speed. A catch there, and the Dolphins walk out of here with a win. Instead, they face a 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line.
Did love what they schemed up, though, Ian. They made a concerted effort that they were going to attack Abram in the deep spot, and they did, and he was able to come up with a win for himself and for his team, forcing the incompletion.
Fuller will walk off towards the Miami sideline. 3:57 to play in OT. The last meeting was a thriller on December the 26th. Last year, 26-25 win for Miami. A ridiculous throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then a game-winning field goal.
Do not take a sack here because you still have a good field goal opportunity.
Dolphins down 3. Brissett, strong throw across the 35-yard line as he connects with Parker for 7. And once again, it's Mullen who is banged up. We've seen Mullen and Merrick dealing with injuries at the end of regulation and in this extra session.
And this time, instead of Damon Arnett, it looks like Amik Robertson will come into the ball game. He's built like a nickel cornerback. You'd think he'd be inside the slot, but Robertson is much more comfortable on the outside portion of the field.
So Mullen comes off. The Dolphins face a 3rd and 3 with 3:42 to go in OT. Dolphins thought they had a call in the end zone. Will Fuller, the contact from Abram, there was no flag on the play. Shotgun. Brissett. Toss it ahead to Gesicki, and it fooled nobody. 1-yard pickup. It's now 4th down.
Yeah, got to kick it if you're Miami. Get this game tied up if at all possible. And Sanders has good experience in this stadium not too long ago.
Jason Sanders, in his 4th year in the NFL, will attempt a 50-yarder. Ferguson to snap it. Polardi to hold. 50-yard attempt on its way. Tie game. 28-28. 2:49 to go in overtime.
Did it catch just to just tick off the inside of that post?
Maybe.
I thought I heard the sound. Nichols mulling to the locker room, which is much more concerning to the Raiders right now. But at least they are on offense. And Jacoby Brissett, I'm not eloquent enough to say what he has meant to this Dolphins team today, but his play down the stretch has been marvelous.
And the Dolphins will kick it off. Knotted up at 28 apiece, 2:49 to play in OT. Next score wins. Return man is Ruggs. Brissett now 215 yards through the air, 37 yards on the ground, and the touchdown that put the Dolphins in position for the two-point try to tie it at the end of regulation. Booming kick. Coming up to the 25-yard line. Well, we mentioned it. Week 16 last season, one of the wildest finishes of the year. About 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Miami down 6. Gaskin, 59-yard touchdown. Extra point put Miami up by 1. Raiders would kick a field goal, take the lead. 19 seconds left. Next drive, Fitzpatrick, while being taken down by his face mask, completes the pass to Mac Hollins. Sanders the field goal to win it. 3 lead changes in the final 3 minutes of play. 2:49 to go in overtime. Carr steps up, delivers downfield, and it's broken up. He tried to hit Darren Waller along the sideline, but Byron Jones was ready for him. Coming up tonight on CBS, it all begins with 60 Minutes, newsmaking interview with embattled Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, followed by a new Big Brother. Then the Tony Awards present Broadway's Back live tonight on CBS. Second down and 10 here for Las Vegas. Barber in the backfield. Carr working from the gun. Motion man is Ruggs, and flags fly.
Ball start, number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's Colton Miller, the left tackle. 8 penalties against Las Vegas.
Fatigue creeps into the game as we're into overtime. Sometimes make a few of those mistakes just from being a little bit weary.
Second down and 15 now from the 20-yard line in a tie game. Protection holds up. Carr launches. Caught! Over the shoulder, Brian Edwards. Mr. Clutch for Las Vegas.
And he broke through double coverage, but they found the guy that you would want in coverage, and that's Brandon Jones. A hammer in the box is a strong safety, not quite the same cover guy, similar to Jonathan Abram with the Raiders. And what a beautiful throw by Carr, and Edwards reaching out to get it.
34-yard reception. Breaking away, Peyton Barber! Out of bounds! What a rip! 27 yards, and the Raiders are in position to get a W.
Right side of the Raiders offensive line, Jermaine Illuminor, 72, Alex Leatherwood, 70. Sure, they got some help from a tight end and wide receiver on that side. And Barber's eyes found the crease and bolted through it.
And the injured Dolphin is Brandon Jones. He attempted to limp off the field and then collapsed just short of the Miami sideline. The Raiders will have the football at the 19.
It'd be interesting what they do in terms of how many plays before you're thinking about Carlson going out there and also positioning. Where does he want the ball in the field to kick it? Guys sometimes are very particular depending on the distance about their leg swing and where they want the ball.
Right now, you'd be looking at a 37-yard field goal for the win. The athletic training staff is dealing with young Brandon Jones, the physical safety out of Texas.
He's had an effect on this game. Remember that big sack he had earlier in the ball game on Derek Carr? Guy's a tough, hard-nosed player.
Jacoby Brissett put his team in this position, but right now the Raiders are in the driver's seat. 2 big plays. Edwards 34 yards, Barber 27 yards. They are inside the Miami 20.
Seals is it.
On a handoff, Barber churning up yards. They tried to rip the ball free, but he secures it. Raiders offensive line celebrating.
This is the 2-minute warning at 1:57.
We hit the 2-minute warning in OT. The Raiders on the brink of a home win. Line of scrimmage is the 11-yard line for Las Vegas. Ingold in the backfield with Barber. Carr on a give. Barber brought down at the 10 by Christian Wilkins. Clock is moving. We're down to 1:44 and counting. Third down and 1.
A little surprised he doesn't kick it here, only because if there's a muff on the snap or whatever, you get a 4th down to do it again.
Raiders break the huddle on a 3rd and 1.
We're good. Hey, we're good. Hey, kill. Here we go. Move. Seals is it.
Snap it. Carr gives it. Barber fighting for extra yards. And he takes it to the 6. Barber has cracked 100 yards rushing on the day. Under a minute to go. A new career high for Peyton Barber. 111 yards rushing and a touchdown. 1st and goal for Vegas.
Letting this bad boy run on down for some reason. Just want to make sure everything's good.
30 seconds left.
Seals is it.
Carr takes the knee, and here we go. Daniel Carlson. He's made 23 straight at home, the longest active streak in the NFL. He's made 28 straight overall. And this one will be for the win.
Just running it down. They took it all the way down just to make sure if something went wrong, Miami would have no time to respond.
Carr took the Raiders down the field.
3 seconds. 3 seconds, please.
They put 3 seconds on the clock.
3 seconds on the game clock. Thank you.
Miami does have the 1 timeout remaining if they want to try to ice Daniel Carlson. Short field goal attempt. Looking at a 25-yarder. '28. Carlson. A jump. Play is whistled dead. Justin Coleman came around the edge.
Neutral zone infraction, number 27, defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Well, why not? You try it.
Take a shot. And, you know, they didn't use that timeout that you mentioned, but boy, they just did. You know, it's kind of that false start. Maybe they iced him anyway.
Well, you play mind games too.
Right.
Will they? Won't they? Try to plant the seed and just throw off the kicker any way possible. Sieg to snap it. Cole to hold it. 22-yard attempt. Daniel Carlson. Carlson. That's a winner. Viva Las Vegas. The Raiders are 3-0 for the first time in 19 years. 31-28 in overtime. The Raiders defeat the Dolphins. Daniel Carlson redeems himself. And that gets it done for Vegas. Fun one. Miami showed a lot of fight to stay in it. But the Dolphins dropped to 1-2 on the season with a home game.